I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Live from the Xfinity studio. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday to all across the Delaware Valley as we come to you live back in the friendly confines of our wonderful studio. Wow, look at this. We're back. All right. Busy time. We're going to have you covered from the Combine yesterday. Nick and Howie both spoke. They spoke here on Friday to the writers, and then yesterday was for everybody, live from Indianapolis, as everybody gets like, hey, we're all here. Here's the deal. Obviously, AJ is at the top of everybody's discussions. Here's why that's ridiculous, right? Because whether or not they're trying to trade him, going to trade him, right, or any of that, Howie can't say anything. He's not going to say anything. Nick's not going to say anything. Nobody can talk about it because you're trying to get, if you do trade him, you're looking to get value, and you can't say it. It can't be like, oh, this is an untenable situation. We have to move on from him. The one thing that was clear yesterday, and we'll go right to EJ today, Fran a little bit later on, but EJ is going to get us to with the news of the day is it looks like Nakobe Dean that there's just no room in the end. We thought that would be the case, but when Nakobe came back from the injury, he looked fantastic, right? Like he played really well. I just don't think, and you can judge it yesterday by talking to the guys, that there is just enough room. What you got to pay him, and the fact that you got Campbell there. I mean, Jihad's around, so I don't think that Nakobe gets signed. I don't know how you do it. That's one of the issues. But we'll get into all things Combine today. Lots to get to as the thing kicks off. People's flights were delayed getting into Indianapolis, but everybody should be there by today. And then the great convention is on. We go from the Olympic Games to the Underwear Olympics, which I love. I do. I love the Combine. Saturday's the big day with quarterbacks throw. I'll be watching NFL Network all week long. I know our buddy Mike Garafolo, he sat with Sirianni yesterday, so we'll talk to him later in the week about his takes on Nick, and we'll dive in as the Eagles embark on a restructure, a reimagined offense. So it'll be pretty cool. Like I'm actually looking forward to it. Nick talked about the role of Mannion and what he expects from Mannion and this new offense. And I think, I'm on board. You got to switch it up. We saw that offense last year, and it basically kept them from being a repeat champion. The offense just struggled all year long. So let's go. Let's reimagine it with a different look, different coaching staff, and we're gonna look forward to that. So we'll get all into that from the Combine. Quickly, nice to see Joe back. Joe February for the first time. It was good to see him back last night. I know it's the Pacers, and the Pacers are in full-fledged tank mode, but just seeing Embiid settled things down, right? Like they win easy, and Tyrese. Look at how easy Tyrese got shots when Joe's on the floor. And again, the whole thing's going to come down to whether or not Joel can stay healthy the entire playoff run. It's as simple as that. It's that, like, you need him on the floor. You need all those points. You need the spacing on the floor. You need Joel. And as much as people go, oh, Embiid, when he's on the floor and he's playing, he's still great. Like he's still a great player. And to have any kind of hope, because I said it yesterday, we're gonna sit there on the eve of the playoffs this spring when there's no snow and everything looks pretty, And we're going to be convincing ourselves, believing in the unbelievable, that Joe's going to be healthy and he can survive the grind, and let's go play the song. And, that's how you approach the playoffs. That's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to do that. Flyers come back tonight. Looking forward to watching Flyers Caps tonight. So I'm actually I got that circled. So I'm looking forward to that. And Bryce spoke yesterday about the pending labor stoppage. And that thing looks nasty. Also, the automated balls and strikes, the ABS system, was on full-fledged yesterday at spring training, as you saw a lot of mistakes. There was one umpire that lost. He had 5 missed calls in a row. Not sequential pitches, but 5 challenges he was wrong on. Oh, man. The ABS is going to show you how bad the umping is, man. I thought it was bad in Little League. So we have our travel games, and we're always grunting and groaning. That pitch was a mile outside. Why did you call that a strike? What's wrong? Yo, Blue. Pitch is a foot outside, Blue. That's me yelling constantly from the dugout. Good morning, VG.
His name is Mitch Tresiak, and he was a Nug later on who had 5 consecutive. One was right down the middle, man. It wasn't, and I love that they give you how many inches outside. I mean, there's one was less than half an inch. Right.
You're gonna miss.
This one's 3 inches over the plate.
You can't. There's some you just can't do that, man.
I love it, man.
One day I'm gonna just tape us in the dugout.
Yeah, I'll come out to a game. I'll tape you.
And you sit in the dugout, and
you play Lenape, Marlton, that area. I'll go over. I'll see Mom, and I'll go tape you.
Well, now we're on tournaments. It's all over South Jersey.
Okay,
so whatever. But we'll have you.
Yeah,
we'll have you tape it.
Yeah, I'll come out. I'll get a little GoPro with a microphone,
and then you'll just hear we're mic'd up in the dugout.
You guys
Blue, come on, Blue.
Hammering guys at a 12-year-old game.
Well, it's not hammering, but it's more like begging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do it. I do it. We had a basketball game last night. Everything's all messed up because of the snow, so we're backed up.
Are you on them from the get-go? Because as a coach, I feel, I know it's a terrible situation.
I'm not on them at all.
It's got to be egregious for me to get crazy.
No, I know all the refs. I'm friends with them.
Yeah. All right.
And a lot of them do football. A lot of them do they're all. And they're great. Listen, without the refs, you got nothing.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So I'm super respectful.
Okay.
Even when I go, what do you think? I said, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the way I do it. What do you think,
man?
I'm uncomfortable when I'm with coaches who are just hammering.
No, I can't.
They're making $50 for this game.
Right. I can't. I'm not nasty. I'm never nasty to them.
Good.
Because A, there's kids, and B, I mean, it's a tough gig, man.
Yeah.
We got a ref. God bless them, because there's a ref shortage, and we got a ref who's 85 years old.
Oh man,
he's awesome. He gets up and down the floor,
giant specs on,
right? Gets up and down
magnifying glass.
The guy's like UB Brown. He's the great. I wish to God I'm in that kind of shape at his age, and God bless him. So I look at it listen, am I going to expect an 85-year-old man to get every call right? No.
Yeah, that's right.
So show him respect, and he deserves respect. He knows the game.
Yeah.
The guy knows the game. Mm-hmm. So whatever. All right, let's get down to business, because a busy day for our Eagles people. So let's go right out to Indianapolis, where our man E.J. Smith is on the caper. He's on the scene.
He's out pounding the pavement.
On the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. Good morning, EJ.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, pounding the pavement. I'm on the I'm almost on the podium at this point. Trying to get some Eagles intel.
You look good behind the podium.
I mean, listen, maybe Mr. in a different life.
Coach Smith, let me ask you a question. What's the offense? What's your ideal offense, Coach Smith?
That is actually a good question for me, right? Yeah, because I do have some thoughts on that. But no, yeah, like I said, maybe in a different life I would have been at this podium if I had played my cards a little different.
You and me both. I would love to do that. Love to do that. I wouldn't say anything either. I'd be like, I don't know, EJ.
Oh, you would say something. You'd be insightful, right? I have to tell myself that I'd be insightful because I've been through too many press conferences where I don't get much.
No, I'd be like Andy Reid.
Okay, well that's not terrible. Yeah.
You saw it, right? I would give you more of the EJ. You know the game, like you saw it. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be more like did not give the answers. I wouldn't be like Nick giving away the store.
Yeah, but he sometimes will do that like accidentally, like his
Right.
quote on AJ, became like the biggest quote. Even Howie yesterday was like, I'm not the one who said that. I think you got that question for the other guy. It was like Nick was trying so hard not to say something that he ended up saying something.
I know. God bless him. I do like him a lot, man. I really do like the guy. But man, bro, like you got to be succinct. Too much word salad. Like
oh my God.
He's always making his salad.
Shut
Come
up.
Come on, brother.
For an Italian, he should know better. Just keep it shut.
Thank God he's not dealing with Iran. You know what I'm saying? Let's dive into this thing.
He's not dealing with rigged poker games in South Philly.
Let me ask you. So, what was your? Let's go. We just touched on it. Give us your AJ takeaway to start.
Yeah, I think that this was an important couple of days for Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni because they were able to sort of shape the narrative how they wanted and, message to the rest of the league. Yesterday is a really significant day in Indianapolis because really all of the league decision makers are in one place. They're all talking and honestly, they're all listening too. So, the fact that Howie Roseman, kind of left it open-ended, said they're always open, they're always listening to offers. I do think that that's a signal to the rest of the league is, impress me with an offer. That's not to say that the Eagles are definitely trading AJ Brown. I know some people are fatigued by the conversation, but I think what we learned is that there is a price that the Eagles would move him on for. My guess is probably a first-round pick either this year or in future first. I think that is what Howie Roseman is trying to message here is that if he gets that in return, he will consider moving AJ Brown.
All right. Other takeaways. Let's go to the stay on offense, and with the whole idea of Mannion and how the machine will work.
Yeah, the sense I get just talking to guys around here is that they're still in the early phases of install with Sean Mannion, but there's a lot of optimism because of like what you've heard about him and sort of the meshing of talent, right? You look at the 49ers and the Rams, they're built a little bit differently than the Eagles personnel-wise. I think that there's a curiosity what it's going to look like because of the talent the Eagles have up front. The fact that they're, I heard someone compare the wide receivers to kind of like a pitching rotation, right? Where it's like you talk about, do you have a one or do you have two twos? Do you have twos, threes, and fours, but you're missing the one? And with the Eagles, obviously, we'll see where things go with AJ Brown, but right now they have 2 ones, and that is something that I think is intriguing to the staff. And, the other thing is that just talking to people, there's a lot of optimism about Devontae Smith in this offense and the ceiling that Devontae Smith still has. Nick Sirianni said it on the podium yesterday that he feels like Devontae Smith, his best football is still ahead of him. His stock is rising. And, I think that as they are in this, early phase of install with Sean Mannion, there's a real optimism that Devontae can be a high volume, highly productive receiver because he has the skill set of some of these guys that we talk about, whether it's Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp in the past. Yeah, so I think it's a volume thing for him. And as long as AJ's here, you're always going to have a hard time sharing those targets. But again, we'll see what happens with AJ. And again, I think he is a really good fit for the scheme. He's probably one of the biggest winners with the Sean Mannion system.
I was going to bring this up earlier because I feel like the messaging point seems like, hey, we're going to wax poetically about Devontae, which he deserves it, but we haven't heard that to prepare us for the AJ departure. That's what it felt like yesterday.
Yeah, it's textbook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, start to shift the focus on him because I think there's a lot of strong feelings in that building that Devontae is a number 1 receiver. He's one of the best receivers in the league. Just hasn't had that opportunity because you look across the league, Justin Jefferson is an example of a guy in a Sean Mannion system that, gets a lot of volume. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is hard to compare anybody to. But, there are examples of guys out there who, are sort of the 1B. And, if they get that opportunity to, take a higher target share, you'd expect them to take a leap.
Do you guys think his body can handle a lot of volume?
Yeah, I've heard people say that, about his slight build.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, I would say he's so tough, and he has been healthy with the Eagles. He had I think it was the ankle his first year. So for the most part, he had the concussion last season, but for the most part, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Again, he's one of those guys. I mean, he probably spends about as much as anybody to take care of his body. So, he's not going to do like the Puka Nacua stuff. Not one for one. He's not going to be someone you want having a ton of targets over the middle of the field, run after catch. But again, he's he plays well beyond what his frame would suggest he'd be able to.
Yeah, he's an elegant player, man. He's just an elegant receiver.
Yeah, he's tiny though.
Well, he
could be muscular, but he's
he's
$180.
He's lean. Yeah.
He's strong. He's definitely strong though. You see it what he does in the run game. I mean, it's like the Kevin Durant thing where people will say he's a lot stronger than you think he is based off his body type.
And let's be real here. I'd have more concern if this was 2002, where you had a lot more hitting over the middle, bigger safeties, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, the league has definitely made it a little bit more, possible for those middle field targets. Now, listen, we'll see if Jalen actually can major in those throws. Not to go us down the Jalen Hurts rabbit hole here, but I would like to see it happen before I'm confident that we're going to be seeing a ton of Devontae Smith middle field targets next year.
Hey, do you think something gets done with McKee? Because, you've been hearing now the Jets had a report that the Jets are eyeing McKee. Now, I heard the Eagles aren't in a hurry to move on from Tanner.
Yeah, I think it's a similar one to AJ, but I think that Howie is open to moving him based off of sort of what he didn't say yesterday and what he didn't say on Friday. Kind of said he's not sure how the rest of the league values the Eagles players, but I think again it's going to take the right compensation here. I mean, if you're the Eagles, you probably don't move him for a 4. You probably don't move him for a 5. I think it's got to be a day 2 pick. If you can get a day 2 pick for Tanner McKee, I think you do it. Or if you can get a conditional pick next year, which I think is probably the best case scenario, is you get, maybe it's a 2027 second or third round pick that can turn into a 2 if he starts a certain amount of games, and maybe turns into a 1 if he hits a certain benchmark. I think that if they got that offer, they could do that, and then they could also, this is the other side of it that would be advantageous if they did move him. Then that opens you up to draft a quarterback without making it an obvious reflection of the way that Jalen played last season, without kind of turning up the temperature on Jalen there. So, I think, because honestly, if you flip McKee for a high pick, that's your case study right there for why you would do it, why you draft somebody on day 2 again. So I think the Eagles could probably, shore up the backup position. That's not a guarantee they're going to get another Tanner McKee here, but I do think there's probably a way where they can navigate this, where they have a young guy on a rookie contract behind Jalen Hurts, and then they recoup some draft assets for Tanner McKee.
Yeah, I mean, but I agree with you. They're not trading for a 4.
Right. Yeah, I think I think you're right. I mean, he has enough value where you're not just trading him to trade him. You'd have to be getting a premium. I mean, just being here, I do get the sense that there are teams that are interested in Tanner McKee as kind of like, if you miss out on your top guy, he is the next option there. So yeah, I could see it happening.
The only other things you have are, and this is it's a Wawa Wednesday, and this is the big deal. Of course, the combine from Indianapolis is our big deal on Wawa Wednesday. E.J. Smith live from Indy, killing it like he always does. So we appreciate the hard work, EJ, to get out there on the big deal on Wawa Wednesday. So let's finish the offense before we go to defense. Goedert, obviously tight end is a big spot. You're going to need 2 tight ends, it looks like. Is there going to be a market for Goedert?
I would expect there to be. And even if there's not, I mean, the fact that he took a pay cut last year, I wouldn't say that Howie Roseman's comments were overly, confidence inspiring if you're somebody who wanted Dallas Goedert back. I think it's going to have to look similar to how it looked last year for him to find his way back to the Eagles. I think he's going to have to not have a market and, sort of sign a 1-year deal to come back. just in the short term because of the fact that he lacked the market. But I think he probably will have a market, enough of a market to find a home elsewhere. Howie's really made sure to set expectations that they're not going to be able to keep everybody because of the extensions that they have coming down the pike on defense. So I think Goedert's probably someone who ends up somewhere else. And then it was really interesting that Howie talked about the need to evolve at tight end. I thought that this was one of the biggest things I took away from Friday, where he said that he's always leaned toward having receiving tight ends and being able to leverage mismatches in the pass game. But as you've seen the league evolve and, tight ends becoming more of a factor in the run game, and especially with what the offense that Sean Mannion's going to bring to the Eagles, you need guys who can at least be, as Fran would put it, combo tight ends. You need guys who can be a factor in the run game, who have those physical traits. And Howie acknowledged, like last year, they did not have enough diversity or, enough of a range of skill sets in that room. So I do think it's going to be a priority for them to get more balance at tight end as they rebuild that position group, especially because I think it's going to be important for what Sean Mannion's going to do offensively.
Yeah, Dallas didn't have a great year at sealing the. Usually, he's usually a plus.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It
feels like the last 2 or 3 years he's really dropped off as a blocker, and that to me, like that's one of this because like that's one of my favorite like types of players is like a two-way nasty physical tight end who really can set the edge and kind of be a 6 offensive lineman for you. You need those guys, especially in the modern game. So
got to seal.
I think
you got to seal the back end. You have to.
Yeah,
you gotta, and it hurt Saquon last year,
right? Yeah, it's weird that Goedert dropped off on it because he used to be such a weapon for them. Because they would be able to throw out of 11 because he was so good. Or no, they'd be able to run out of 11 because he was so good in the pass game or in the run game, and so good and they could throw out of 12 because he was such a good receiver. I think that's something you want to get back. But I think again, Howie seems like he's going to place a priority on getting guys who can be a real factor in the run game.
So you look at those lists, though. I mean, obviously going to draft 1 or 2 or get an undrafted free agent, but when they're going to have to bring somebody established in, I would think, with some kind of track record. And it's pretty slim pickings out there. I'm looking at people that are valued less than him. Noah Fant.
We're probably going to have to trade. I mean, you're probably going to have to trade for one.
For a tight end?
Yeah.
You got
the
Taysom Hill.
Aren't that good.
No, the only 2 better that are supposed to get higher value contracts are Njoku and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chigo Okonkwo is somebody I've pointed out. I think he'd be interesting, but and Fran has pointed out that the draft, it's a good tight end class, but it's more of the strength of the class is in the mid rounds. You're not getting like a difference maker
unless
number
it's
one.
Sadiq.
Right, unless you're getting Kenyon Sadiq, and that's probably a little rich at 23. You might have to move up to get him. And
he's gone. He's not going to be around for the Eagles pick.
Yeah. So, but they can backfill that position with those physical types that Howie might prioritize. So maybe somebody like a Chigo Okonkwo as your number 1 option. I mean, again, it's not the most overwhelming or the splashiest of tight end rooms, but I think it would be probably in line with what they need to do again for Sean Mannion's scheme here.
All right. Last thing, EJ, on the defensive side of the ball, listen, I just can't see them bringing back Nakobe. I love Nakobe.
Yeah.
I just don't see how it's going to work.
You know where I think he ends up, cuz? And you're not going to like this. I think he ends up in Dallas.
Yeah.
I think Christian Parker's going to push for him.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I think it's telling too, right? That Christian Parker obviously there's only so many guys from that defense that are available, but we've talked about the intangible stuff that Nakobe offers to a defense. How Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, how those guys really like lock in with Nakobe, and they when he speaks, they listen. Talking to people like even guys like Zach Bond, like when Nakobe's out there, they feel more confident. He is kind of the leader that they follow. So
I agree.
I think it is telling. If he ends up in Dallas, I think it would be instructive. And I don't know, something just. I just got a feeling on that one.
I could totally see him there because if I'm Christian Parker, I'm telling the Cowboys, get this kid. They need linebackers badly.
Yeah. And it's like obviously the Eagles probably aren't going to re-sign him no matter what happens. But if you're the Cowboys, you feel like we took away a difference-making player for them. So yeah, I mean, again, Eagles fans will be sad, and Nakobe has been awesome to cover, and obviously his story last year was really special. But yeah, to me, I don't know. Something tells me. I mean, I feel like Nakobe would like that too, playing a Christian Parker defense.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think there's any fault here. Campbell was a great value pick. I still think he's a player. Any other insight into the tackles?
Yeah. So you're saying like the
Long term.
prospects? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that is. I mean, I put it at like 65, 70% that's where they go on in the first round of the draft. It's because I don't think that they'll have to force it. I think there are enough guys that should be available at that range in the draft. And yeah, I mean, the way you look at it, like obviously Lane is coming back, but you feel like you need succession planning there.
Yeah.
And
No, and
honestly,
then
like
listen, the
even
back end of the draft is where those tackles are. We're going to talk to
right.
Fran in a minute. We'll dive into it. I was talking more the defensive tackles and extending,
Oh, sorry.
like
Yeah,
Jordan
sorry.
Davis. I mean, my guess is they don't
I think they
talk to
extend him.
Jalen until Carter until next year, until after
I
this
agree.
year.
It's tricky with Carter though, because that 5th year option is really, really
I know.
pricey. You know, you're not getting a hometown discount. I'm with you. I don't know what I would I don't know what they're going to do with that one. But I agree. I don't think that there's anything imminent there. I think Jordan Davis probably gets extended.
Yeah.
I think he's earned it, and I think that they'll probably be able to find a number. And then with the rest of the guys, I think you're gonna. I mean, Morrow is probably on the same track as Milton Williams, right? Where it's like you have him on a rookie deal, and then he probably gets paid elsewhere. So yeah, that tackle rotation is going to be interesting. And then the other one, I have heard such a wide range of numbers for Jalen Phillips on what he's going to get on the open market out here. Like I've heard 18 million, I've heard 20 million, or 25.
Are you
27.
serious?
Yeah, I don't. It's a bad free agency market. He's one of the top guys available at a premium position. Honestly, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if it was 18. It would still surprise me if it was north of 25, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was 24. I think it's going to be a really volatile market for him because I think the Eagles would love to have him back. I really do. You know, the way how he talks about him.
Well, you
the
need
value
it.
of having him in the room.
You need
right?
another edge. Like you were thin before you got him, so you got to have another edge. That's a lot of money.
I think they'd want to have him back, but I think there's a chance that the team just gets ridiculous on him. So it's crazy. It's like, you know, people who I trust on these things. It's just the range there has been surprising to me. So
yeah. There's not a lot of the problem is not a lot of edge guys out there.
Right? Yeah, it's a bad free agency market. I think that's why the Eagles are going to stand pat and just get their comp picks for this offseason or for next offseason. But yeah, the fact I saw the Athletic had Jalen Phillips number 3 in their free agency rankings, and I just thought, ooh, somebody, and there's the cap went up, so there's going to be teams with money. I don't know, maybe that number will surprise us.
Yeah, I agree, brother. Great stuff. We'll be watching you, of course, and we'll talk to you tomorrow for the update. So we appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you guys soon.
Thanks, buddy. There he is, E.J. Smith. Coming up, we go back to Indianapolis for our man Franny Films, who's dialed in. This is his time to shine. He is all about it. So we'll get to Franny and set up the week for prospects and the draft and everything else. But first, a word from our friends. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. That's right. Join me now, where there's always another way to win. Right now, new casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in the first 24 hours. Plus, you get 250 bonus spins on Good Heavens. Yes, over the course of 10 consecutive days, 250 bonus spins. Make your downtime fun time. Play all the hot slots like Huff and Puff. You like that one?
Huff and Puff's not bad.
Right?
Yeah,
Cash Eruption. You like that
Rainbow
one?
Jackpots I've been playing.
Right? And then plus all the sports that you can handle. Hockey's back. Hoops. Fly Guys at Washington. I think Meatskoff comes back big. Check out Neatskoff. There's always another way to win. You got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan. New users only. Terms and conditions apply. See betparks.com for details. Casino bonus must be wagered. Gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, Wawa. Here's my great Wawa. We love it. You have every one of those days. You have that day, right? You're moving nonstop. You realize, forgot to eat. Well, I do it all the time. Been loving what Wawa is doing right now. Wawa now has $5 deals all day. Honestly, it just makes life easy. It really does. You're starting early. You can grab the $5 big breakfast meal deal We're talking sizzling, hash brown, any size hot or iced coffee. That's a full morning win for $5. Available from 5 to 11 a.m. Then later in the day, value keeps rolling. Roasted chicken sandwich, crispy chicken sandwich. Create your way starting at $5. They even got the new teriyaki recipes for a limited time. It's real food, real value, and built for busy days. No planning, no overthinking. Just swing in, grab what you need, keep it moving, start your day strong, fuel up whenever you need. Wawa $5 deals. Limited time exclusive supply. See Wawa.com for details. Gotta have Wawa. Now, let us go back to Indianapolis, where there is no one better at assessing talent. He really should be. We're lucky because he should be working for a team.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it. Franny Films. There he is. He's on the clock. On the clock. Presented by Ashley. Look at him. You're ready to go. This is your time. You got your stopwatch?
He looks like he's in a 3-point stance.
Listen, I got the stopwatch. We got the binoculars. We're ready to roll for tomorrow once the drills start over at Lucas Oil.
You got him around your neck?
No, this is the credential. We can't be showing that on camera.
I know. I can see you like it. Look at you got to go, baby. Well, all right, let's take us through the days. So tomorrow, the first workouts, right?
Yep. So tomorrow, basically the way that it works is that the players that speak to the media, the day after they speak to the media, they work out. So this morning, I spoke with a bunch of linebackers this morning at 8 o'clock. We've got a little bit of a break right at 10 o'clock. So 28 minutes from now, I'll be over there for defensive tackles. And then the hour after that, 11 o'clock to noon, we've got the edge rushers. All of those guys are going to work out tomorrow across the street at Lucas Oil. So, and then it'll just go from there. It'll be cascading from there. So we've got DBs and tight ends meeting the media in the morning tomorrow morning, and they'll work out on Friday, and we'll go through with the rest of the offensive players after that. So it's a good routine, a little Groundhog Day-ish, but it's this is great. I love coming down here every year.
Yeah, let's talk about edge because, listen, I know top of the draft, you need tackles, and that's big. We'll get to that in a minute. You're going to need a tight end. You're going to need a receiver. So you're going to need to focus a lot offensively. But, edge is always there because you got edge and corner are two spots that can use some depth.
Yeah, and I would honestly look at edge rusher as one of the best groups in this draft. I think that, if you look right now, if you go into the diehard draft guide, I believe it's 4 of my top 6 players are edge rushers, or 3 of my top 6 players, right? No, it's 4 of my top 6. You look at Keldrick Fall, David Bailey, Arvell Reese from Ohio State, and then you look at Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami. Now, there's a little bit of a gap between those guys and the next group, but I think when you talk about overall on this class, it's a good group of pass rushers, and it's a lot of guys that that have the physical component in terms of being able to be rugged and hold up at the point of attack, be 3-down players. Then you've got more of your designated pass rusher type. So depending on what flavor you're shopping for, you'll be able to find it in this class.
Yeah, what scares me is that you got teams like you have the division teams that are going to be drafting high. So you got the Giants, you got the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to need an edge. And, I could see them kind of moving up. I love Bain. I'm surprised I see Mox where he drifts a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be drifting too far. I think at the end of the day, out of the top 10 seems unrealistic in this class. Now, a lot of that will have to do with how teams view the injury history with him. He'd had a little bit of a calf last year in 2024 that hampered him throughout most of the year. The body type is going to be a concern for some. The athletic profile is going to be a concern for some. So there are a couple areas where that could trip up. But I love the player. I mean, I mentioned he's one of my top 6 players in this draft. I think with all the intangibles, the toughness, the physicality, the football character, all of that is exactly what you're looking for. He is a tone setter on that side of the ball. He's got a relentless play style. So there's a lot to love about Ruben Bain Jr. To me, I think it starts when you're talking about Washington at 7. I can't imagine him falling out of the top 10, 11 picks. I think if you're Cincinnati, that you would be crazy to kind of pass him up. So, Kansas City is a team at 9 that a lot of people have kind of matched him up with as well. So I would be surprised if he fell out of the top 10, 11 picks this draft.
Do you see the Cowboys as a move up possibility to get there? Because you still got to go replace Parsons.
Yeah, I think it's certainly possible, especially because you can see those guys go off the board quickly, at that spot. And I mentioned there's a little bit of a tier break there. I just think, though, at the end of the day, we see Christian Parker. This is a defensive scheme where we've seen they're going to build from back to front. And with him being a secondary-minded coach, I don't know if they want to necessarily put 2 premium picks into moving up to get 1 player in the front. We'll see. Maybe they do go against that. But I think the fact that they've got 2 of the top 20 picks in this draft, that's something that they would be pretty happy with. So I would imagine that they might say, like, let's stay put. Maybe we take the corner first, and then we'll take the edge rusher later. But I'll be interested to see how they handle that.
Where do you have Bain's counterpart, Amedjador? Where do you have him going?
Yeah, Messador it's a really tough one because he turns 25 years old next in March. And he's had a history of foot injuries. He's a bigger guy. He's bounced back and forth between defensive tackle and defensive end really throughout his career. He started at West Virginia. They moved him at nose tackle in a 3-man front when he was a sophomore. And then, even in Miami last year in 2024, he played mostly on the inside. And he was like, look, coach is like, I want to be a defensive end. I want to be an edge rusher going to the NFL. That's what I love. What can I do? What do I need to do to get back on that path? And so they gave him a big checklist last offseason. They said, if you do this, and this, you can play edge rusher for us next year. And so he said, okay. So he came back this past year, 6th-year senior, was outstanding for Miami. But again, as a 24-year-old guy with a history of foot injuries, he got surgery when he left West Virginia, another injury when he came back, and then even this past season for Miami, just a couple of games with a foot. So an older player who broke out, had his best year as a 6th-year senior. Some teams are going to be fine with that. Other teams are going to say, like, what is his best football? Is this what we're getting? Which is a good player, but with the foot injury mixed in there, it's tough to gauge what his value is. It only takes one. So we could say Dallas, honestly, is a team where I could see them taking him with their second first-round pick. That would be one of the few teams, though, on the back end of the round where I would see them willing to take that chance.
Yeah, that's why I brought him up to you during that pick, because I can see Dallas doing that as well. Giants are set up front on their D-line, but Washington, they have to come away with an edge.
They have to, and I think when you're looking at that group, they need help at corner, they need help at receiver, they need help at pass rusher. So I think with those 3 core positions, I find it hard to believe that they would go anywhere else in the top, especially without having a 2nd-round pick. They need to be able to hit on a premium position, get a blue chip talent in the top 10. So, my guess is that they'll come away with one of these edge rushers. I think when you look at Dan Quinn and his past, guys that just can get after the quarterback, I think David Bailey would make sense there if he were to fall to them. Arvell Reese would make sense there if he were to fall to them. But if not, they love the toughness and physicality end of it, and that's where I think Bain could come into play from Miami as well.
You think Bailey falls?
I don't. I think at the end of the day, he's going to end up going high. I personally do have some reservations there. Like, would I feel great about him in the top 5? I wouldn't say that I'd feel great about it. But in this class, I don't know if I feel great about anybody going up that high. So you're going to have to make a concession somewhere. I have concerns about Bailey as a potential 3-down player. I think that there's a little bit of is he going to be able to hold up well enough against the run type of aspect to him? But he was lights out as a pass rusher this year. He is just so hard to block one-on-one. So to me, I'm willing to kind of look past some of the concerns I've got with the run game just because of what he can be as a rusher.
Yeah. What was your take? And again, you're reading tea leaves with Nick and Howie. But what was your take when it comes to the draft and the focus? Obviously, we already touched on tackle, and I'm sure we'll be talking more about that. But this draft has that bunch right where the Eagles pick. You have a bunch of tackles that should be a run during that period.
Yeah, I think that there's a handful of guys that would certainly make sense. I think one player that is going to be at the forefront, especially after we get through the workouts on Saturday, is Georgia left tackle Monroe Freeling. Only a 1-year starter, came in, and we're going back to the Georgia roots, right? But to me, honestly, I think by the time we get through this week, we're not going to be talking about him outside the top 20. I think a lot of people are going to be kind of pushing him up a little bit, and we'll see him talked about higher in mock drafts. So I think Freeling is the name that everyone's going to be talking about, but might be a little bit unrealistic as we sit here 2-3 weeks from now. A player that I brought up numerous times, we talked about him when I was down at the Senior Bowl, is Maxi Honachor from Arizona State. I think he checks a lot of the markers that we've seen from them in the past. A guy that, while he's a senior, does not have a long runway of experience in terms of playing the sport. He didn't play football until he got to junior college, but he's got outstanding physical traits. He's really tough and physical. That's something that we've seen with a lot of these high picks. What Nick Sirianni as the head coach is, that dog mentality, right? So, so that is a repeated theme with these picks. So I think when you're looking at Ihonachor, he certainly fits a lot of the things we've talked about. But there's a number of having Caleb Lomu from Utah. He's a left tackle only, and that's the thing, is he doesn't have great position versatility, but really athletic. He's young. His best football could be ahead of him. You don't need to throw him in right away. That's a guy that you could try and develop, get a little bit stronger. But there's a number of tackles I think that would make sense for them in the back end. And if you look at guard too, like Vega Ioane from Penn State, left guard, right guard, ultra physical. He's athletic. He's powerful. He's a guy that would make sense.
And he's really good in the run game, which is important for this team.
Yes, this is a guy that gets after you in the run game, and honestly, like even in pass pro too, like he more than holds his own there in that phase of the game. So when I'm looking at Vega Ioane from Penn State, that's a name certainly to know.
How reticent would you be taking more of a project without Stout?
I think that there's certainly an element there where the benefit of the doubt is not there, right? Where like if Stout's there, you're like, all right, like the same old thing. You can count on him trying getting the most out of that player as long as that player is willing to meet him halfway, right? You got to be coachable and all that. I think that now, there's a little bit of a cause for concern. Chris Cooper does not have that long track record of that, proven development. I will say though, and I think we talked about it last time, just for our listeners, is that the Eagles they put a lot of effort and investment into their player development program. It's that staff that a lot of fans will recognize, like Connor Barwin, in terms of like the role that he has with the organization. And it's not just Connor. There are a number of other people that are working in that department who it's their job to develop players, right? Like get these guys that are young veterans, first year players, second year players, get those rookies and get their hands on them and say, like, what are the areas where you need to improve? If you're not in the starting lineup, what are you doing behind the scenes to get better? And you could point, there's so many, Jordan Mailata is a great example, but you look at Moro Ojimo, you look at Milton Williams, you look at a lot of these guys that, maybe started as backups, as reserves, were working behind the scenes. If you were to take an Ihonachor, if you were to take a Caleb Lomu, maybe they don't have to start right away, but they're going to be working behind the scenes. That development piece, that's still there. That arm of the organization, of the department, is still there. And I think they're going to lean heavily into that group without Jeff Stoutland in the building.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at tight end, because tight ends are tomorrow. You get to talk to them.
Yep.
This is a weird draft because you don't have the two-way. EJ and I were just talking about it. You don't have a lot of two-way guys. You need somebody to steal the edge. Listen, you want a pass catcher, but the Eagles struggled last year in the run game because Goedert dropped off. His blocking dropped off.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly after the injury. Remember, he had that early stint on injury reserve, and when he came back, I mean, it was not good as a blocker. He was always a good blocker, and he always to go from good to bad. It was a huge drop. Like it's like, all right, if you get to average, like okay, you can deal with that. But it was a huge sore spot for this team a year ago. When I look at Kenyon Sadiq, I think he's got the ability to be a two-way player. This is a guy that is a phenomenal athlete. We'll see that this week. But his toughness, his physicality as a blocker really stands out. He's not as big as Goedert. He's not as big as Kittle. So it's a different kind of blocking that you're going to be asking him to do. But he's really good in that role. So I do think that he can be a two-way player. It's just about specifically like identifying what are the schemes that we can utilize with him as a lead blocker out in front for Saquon Barkley. After that,
let me ask you off of that real quick. Can you match him up against an edge?
Not like I don't think you're doing it as hey, we're going to line up and play power, and he's going to line up with his hand in the dirt, and we're going to run behind him at the point of attack. I think if you're going to run some of these schemes like last year, like think of the way that they used Calcaterra. right?
Yeah.
Where, hey, he's going to be in the backfield. He's coming from the opposite side, and he's going to insert against the linebacker. Maybe he's going to pin down. If you're going to run pin pull sweeps out to the outside, he can pin down on a defensive end. In that scenario, he's got the angle on. He can do those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So there are definitely elements, but you're not going to count on him like run behind him one-on-one against the defensive end time and time again.
Yeah. Who else you like?
Yeah, it's a good group. I was listening to EJ finish up with him with you guys at the end, and I think it's the tight end position is really deep, but there's not like those blue chip guys at the top outside of Sadiq. I think after that you kind of have to pick. All right, well, there's combo guys where maybe they're like a B across the board, like as not a dynamic athlete, but really reliable pass catcher, and then good blocker but not great blocker. You think of Brent Selleck when Brent Selleck was coming out. And Brent Selleck was a fifth-round pick coming out of Cincinnati, and he grew into a good starting tight end. That's kind of what you're looking at in this class. It's a bunch of guys that have a Brent Selleck type of profile, and you're hoping like, all right, who are the guys that we can pinpoint that can elevate that status? So I think there are a number of names. It's a really thick group that we'll see who could separate themselves when you're looking at like athletic testing and things of that nature here this week.
Yeah, it's interesting. How about let's go real quick with wide receiver, because you're going to have you got to come away with a wide out that you like in this draft.
Yeah, I think I think every year we're going to see what we're going to see. It's a good receiver class. There's talent, right? And so I do think that's going to be the case again this year. I think that if it's not an offensive lineman, it's a pass catcher in round one for the Eagles. And so when I'm looking, so I think a receiver. There are a number of names that do stand out to me. I really like Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M. He's more of like the slot, like move receiver type, dynamic, was a great punt returner for A&M this year. He's a good route runner. He can impact all three levels. He can line up inside, outside.
I like Craver better. Like the problem is like they had good receivers, and he was the least of the ones I liked.
Interesting. Yeah, I really like. He's had some drop stuff, from this past year, but I just think that he's got some dynamic qualities. So I'm excited to see what he can look like here this week. I was hoping to see him at the Senior Bowl when they went on the playoff run. He pulled out of the game just because it was so tight up to the All-Star game circuit. But Concepcion is a name. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. If you're looking
like
for
Tyson?
your pick. Yeah, Tyson's going to be interesting because I do think that a lot of people thought he was going to go before the Eagles picked in the first round. He's not doing anything here at the combine. Apparently, he's still coming back from a hamstring injury. He missed the end of the 2024 season due to a broken collarbone. He had a torn ACL early in his career.
Wow,
so you're talking like knee injury, collarbone. Those could be kind of freaky things. And then you have the soft tissue stuff, and now he's not working out here. That's tough. So I think when you're, especially for a guy that's not like an elite physical specimen, right?
Yeah.
And he's another one who had issues with drops early in his career. So that's a tough profile to really bet on. So I'll be interested to see where he ultimately ends up as we get through a little bit further through the process.
Who else? Give me a couple other guys you like.
Yeah, to me, I think when you're looking at another name that is being talked about in round one is Mekhi Lemon. He is another player that's not testing
USC.
here.
I like him a ton.
Yeah, USC. Extremely productive. Won the Blitnikoff Award winner this year as a top receiver in college football. I do have some reservations about him, only because
size.
The size is a concern, and how does he test at that size? Yeah, to me, when you're looking at guys that play that position, you want tough, you want physical, you want hands, you want route running. I think he's a better route runner against zone, like finding soft spots, finding space to work. Than he is against man, like creating separation one-on-one. And so there's something there in terms of like the usage and the scheme. He's built for a scheme like the Sean Mannion system, right? Like in terms of like the physicality
he'll
and the
sit down in
versatility.
space for you.
Yeah, and if you want to be like versatile in terms of like the run looks and the play action, like he's going to try and block a linebacker for you. He's going to do all those different things, which is really good. But at that size, with that athleticism, if that's going to be a question for teams, like I'll be interested to see ultimately where he goes. Now, do I think he's going to fall to the third day of the draft? No. But I do have reservations in terms of like what the overall upside is with Kyle Lemon.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel the same way. It's weird because I look at the crop and I like them, but I'm not gaga over them.
Yeah, and that's I think that that's this class, right? Like that's this class across the board. It's a lot of like, I like this guy, but not like, I love this guy. I love this player.
Right.
And so when you're picking at 23, there's a chance, and the beauty of that, this is what you would call a beauty is in the eye of the beholder type of draft, where because every team is going to feel that way. There's not going to be a team that all 32 GMs, if you gave them all truth serum, they would say the same exact thing that you and I just said. But everybody's going to have a short list of who they really like, who do they really love. But that short list is going to change depending on the lens, depending on the team that you're looking at. So, like me personally, I love Keldrick Falk. I think Keldrick Falk has the ability to rise to be a blue chip player. Not everybody sees him that way, and that's fine. But everybody's going to have.
I agree with you. I think
that's.
I agree with you. I think you're on. You're on there.
It's going to be interesting though. Having these conversations this week and in the weeks to come, like who are the teams that bring up certain players? Because not everybody's going to. No one's showing you their draft board, but you kind of get a sense when you have conversations. Oh, this team might like this player a little bit more. This team might like that player a little bit more. But everybody's going to have a little bit of a different list in this draft in particular, and that could lead to some surprises by the time we get to late April.
All right, last thing. Give me the guy there that you cannot wait to see.
Yeah, I mean, every day there's going to be different guys that are kind of at the forefront. By the way, I want a quick plug. If you go up to allphly.com right now, I've got my cheat sheet for every single position on defense, on offense. That sheet will go up tomorrow. So you go up there. And
it's awesome.
It's little teasers on like who are the guys I expect to test well, who are the guys that I think are going to look really good in my favorite position drills, who are the guys where I'm not really expecting to test well, but hey, if they don't worry about it. I'm not expecting them to test well, so don't knock them for it. And then guys that have the most to prove. So you go every single position, edge rush, D tackle, linebacker, corner, safety. It's all there. You don't need to be a diehard to get it. So if you're thinking about I'm not sure if I want to be a diehard or not. That's a little tease. Go read that, and then you can become a diehard. Take advantage of the sale we got going on this week. I think it's $36, right, to become a diehard. So you get access to the full draft guide. But I would say in terms of the guys that we're going to watch tomorrow, looking at the front seven, guys I'm excited to see test. I'm going to go back to the guy I just mentioned. That's Keldrick Falk from Auburn. This is a guy that I think when you're seeing in mock drafts, he gets to where about the Eagles are. I expect that they're going to go offense, but if they lose Jalen Phillips, could they be in the edge rush market? I'd be doing backflips if I were Howie Roseman and I could get a shot at Keldrick Falk. I think he'd be a great fit in this scheme.
Great fit. Great. I'm with you. And you need him because you're not spending that money for Phillips. So I'm with you 100%. Hey,
yeah.
One last thing. You're not allowed to take a job because I know we got a lot of GMs there and assistant GMs. Everybody's hanging around. You're not allowed to leave us. All right.
Duly noted.
Thank you. No interviews for you. All right.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm excited for what's to come here in the next few months. If you were on the fence about becoming a diehard, take advantage of the sale we got going on this week. Jump into the diehard draft guide and get ready for next April.
Yeah, dude, you're the best, man. You really are. You're great at it. I love it. You're great at it, and the team would be lucky to have you. So, thank you, my brother.
All right, see you guys.
Freddie Films live from Indianapolis.
I mean,
breaking down the combine.
The diehard sale is $1.50 a week.
Yeah,
and if you just spent $36 for Fran Duffy's guide, and you're a football fan, it's worth it. If you're a bozo like me, I can sound like Mel Kiper on draft day with my buddies because Fran hooks me up with everything.
It's tremendous. Like he's, it's fun. I enjoy talking to Fran. Because I love college football.
Oh, I see you guys geeking out.
And I do. I love it. So like
me and Julie were having like Wawa bagels. You guys are geeking out.
I know. Well, it's funny because like he brings up KC Concepcion from A&M.
Do you get a cringe just because of the name?
Oh, going back to
you made that bitter face. I was like, oh man, the name drives me nuts.
I made the bitter face because I like the other receivers better. The kid Craver I liked a lot. I thought they had three really good receivers, and I thought he benefited from that. He's a lot of drops. Like I saw Texas A&M a lot, and I like Marcel Reed, the quarterback, and he can be explosive, but I hated the drops, and I think he benefited from having a good quarterback and other talent at wide receiver. But yes, I hated back in the day, what VG's referring to is the Reds had a shortstop by the name of Dave Concepcion.
Ugh,
hated
him.
And we, if you grew up in Philadelphia during that period of time, you hated Dave Concepcion because he would always, because he was part of the Reds and the Big Red Machine, he got all these votes for All-Star games, and they would overrate him against Larry Boa.
Yes.
When we know that Larry Boa was 10 times better fielder than Dave Concepcion. Dave Concepcion would have to go in the hole, and he would bounce to throw to first.
He would.
That was he used to bounce it on a line to first because he had a weak arm, unlike Boa. Larry would throw seeds to first.
I'm also doing a little draft research. The linebacker factory we got nearby, there's another Trotter. He's a top 5 linebacker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's go. I can't wait to see him work out.
Oh yeah. No, we got shots.
Dude, I hope they find a way to get him here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Let's get we have 2 Trotters on the team.
we got trots, baby.
Yeah.
We're all about trots.
Yes.
We roll with trots.
Give me the Trots.
All right, coming up, cannot wait to talk to him, the great voice of the Inquirer in this town. It's always one of my favorite conversations of the week. Our good friend, Mike Sealski, will join us coming up shortly. But first, we got to take care of some business.
Hey, let's talk about Ashley Furniture. I love Ashley Furniture. Now's your chance to transform your home for 2026 with great offers on your favorite looks at Ashley's New Year sale. Discover hot buys for every room in your house starting at just $299, and you can ring in the new year with new styles today and pay over time with 60 months special financing on in-store purchases. Don't miss out. Shop the season's must-have looks at Ashley's New Year's sale because we just love Ashley Furniture.
Look, you want Jalen Carter out catching passes? No. All right? Come on now. Not worth the risk, the time, the money. Keep your stars focused on doing what they do best. Same goes for your business. You don't want your top people buried in operations, tedious, time-consuming, redundant activities that wear them down. Togo can help any business look to reduce operating costs, from customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, even complex multi-step operational processes. We take it off your plate. Every Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, they turn your playbook into performance. You call the plays, we execute. HarnessTogo.com. Scale smarter, work faster, stay focused on winning.
Hey, let's talk about Ashley Furniture. I love Ashley Furniture. Now's your chance to transform your home for 2026 with great offers on your favorite looks at Ashley's New Year sale. Discover hot buys for every room in your house starting at just $299, and you can ring in the new year with new styles today and pay over time with 60 months special financing on in-store purchases. Don't miss out. Shop the season's must-have looks at Ashley's New Year's sale because we just love Ashley Furniture.
You know what the best is? So Uncle Frank, who's the greatest, hits me up. I hear voices. I'm hearing voices. There are voices in the background. Because
different than his normal voices he hears in his head.
Just tell him you don't hear
Who
anything.
are these people talking?
I don't hear anything. That's weird.
Yeah.
because Franny's on Radio Row in Indianapolis, there's a million people there, right? Like, so it's just like the Super Bowl Radio Row, a little smaller, but you know, you got a lot of hardcore stuff. It's a big deal. It's amazing what the combine used to be. I used to want to go to the combine before there was any media would go.
Right.
I'm like, this is going to be a big thing.
Was it always in a big stadium? I forget.
Oh, it was in Indianapolis.
It's always been in Indianapolis.
Always. And I used to go out there, and this is like early 2000s, and it was great. Like, there was no media. It wasn't covered like that.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Like, I geek out.
I'm surprised they don't sell tickets to it. Like the second level have like fans come in. Leave all the executives down on the first level.
I mean,
I'd go to watch it.
Yeah, well, that's why the NFL Network puts it on, like, so you can watch it.
Yeah.
But I think it's better. Like, it's let's face it. It's one of those things where it's one of those, here's Kim, it's one of our it's one of those industry, conventions where all that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Like the NFL is amazing, right? Where you got like you have the Super Bowl where everybody's at, and then not even a month later, a few weeks later, is this thing, which is a monster. And then you get the middle of April, and then you got the draft, which is another gathering.
How much of it is actually watching? I mean, because they get the measurements and everything. How much of it is watching, and how much is just hanging out and doing the networking and talking?
Yeah,
and stuff.
But you got these huge staffs, right?
Yeah.
So you got some guys that are just just to watch, right? Looking at movement, like when you see quick burst, quick twitch,
Yeah.
like we were talking about yesterday. Like I'm a big believer in that. Like I just want to see how the kid, just moves and the out of the gate type of stuff. So you got guys that'll just watch that, and then you have like Howie's
just casually watching.
Yeah, he's got a whole staff for that. Howie's worried about,
talking
to people. You got agents because the agents
planting some seeds.
Like the agents are all there,
Okay.
right? They're the ones. That's how these deals are happening. You got GMs and agents, and everybody's talking, and you got your coaches and your staffs. Your staff's there looking at guys. Then you do your interviews. So you'll sit down with kids, and you'll
Is everybody usually in the same hotel?
They're all in the same vicinity.
Like all the teams.
Yeah. And then you'll have your own suite, and you'll bring players into the suite.
All right.
You get I think you get 10 interviews. So you'll allot 10 players to come in,
Right.
and you'll sit with them,
Right.
and you'll interview them, which is it's a cool thing. It's good for the players. So Dom will ask questions.
Dom's there asking questions.
Yeah, Dom will ask questions. Yeah, I mean, but he's not going to ask the stupid they have these, they're almost like philosophical questions.
Dom's, I would think,
Do
would
you
be
love football?
Dom says that?
No.
Oh.
You'll have this judge, what do they mean? Like, what does it mean to play football? All these, we'll phrase it all these different
I
ways.
see Dom being like, we had a Sunday night game. You got out of the building at 12:30. Atlantic City's 90 minutes away. We got film to watch at 7:30 a.m. Do you make the trip to Atlantic City or not?
No, Big Dom, I don't, Mr. Dom.
Perfect.
Joining us, we got him, and we love him. Our man on the Xfinity mobile call-in line, Mike Sielski.
Here comes Mike Sielski.
Good morning, Michael.
Sorry, muted. Good morning, guys.
No, he don't. I don't even have to say anything because he catches it. He knows.
I didn't say anything.
You sound like
You
sound
know,
like Dave Dombrowski making excuses for people.
Yeah.
Don't get me started with that guy today.
Well, let's begin with Phillies and Dombrowski. By the way, the beanie look is good on you.
That's because I didn't comb my hair.
No, it's good.
That's
on you.
it.
It gives you like that edge. You got an edge.
I look like I grew up near VG. That I'm not the soft suburbanite.
Yeah, we ran around Juniata a little ago.
That's right.
I'm gonna egg the house or two.
Not Kevin Patullo's though.
Definitely not Kevin Patullo.
All right, let's tackle Phillies. And you brought it up, so let's go. Dombrowski, what do you got?
I mean, look, they are at a level where they are going to be expected to build every single year, whether that's actually possible or not. And the point's been made before, he has swung and missed a lot in trying to make the kind of moves that tweak what he's already done, right? This was the thing that separated Pat Gillick and has separated Pat Gillick's tenure as GM from Dombrowski's. Pat Gillick brought on board the Jamie Moyer midseason, and it worked. He found the Jason Worth, and he
Victorino.
blossomed. Yeah, I forget if Victorino was here.
He was a Rule 5.
Rule 5 guy.
From the Dodgers.
Yeah, Gillick made those smaller, subtle moves, Scott Air and Chad Durbin and all, J.C. Romero, all of those guys
I mean,
who
even getting Ibanez when you lost, like
Burrow.
you had certain guys that you got to come in and he hit guys. He did.
Yeah, when you bring on a big name, respected general manager like that, those are the kind of moves that ultimately you're going to be evaluating him on, right? To one degree or another. I hate putting it this way, but like Matt Klentak and John Middleton went and got Bryce Harper. Ruben Amaro went and gave Cliff Lee a whole bunch of money. Those are good things, but those are things that just about any GM can do if his owner is willing to spend the money. Where a good GM makes his bones is all the other like hole patching moves that allow the whole structure to stand up and remain resilient for a long time. And that's where Dombrowski hasn't really excelled.
And the other thing too is, it is so frustrating, but the fact that they can't develop an outfielder, a power hitting outfield. Where is the power in this organization?
Look, except for two eras in their history, the Paul Owens era in the 70s and the Mike Arbuckle era in the late 90s and into the early 2000s, the Phillies have never been able to develop talent. And it is the thing that you have to mention to casual fans whenever they get frustrated about the fact that the Phillies aren't spending in the way the Dodgers are spending, or spending the way the Mets do, or the Yankees do. It's like the thing that at least the Dodgers and Yankees also do is develop their own superstars. The Yankees didn't have to go out and pay a gazillion dollars to get Aaron Judge. They already had Aaron Judge. And the Phillies don't have enough players like that. They simply don't.
No.
The Dodgers currently have five players in the top 100 prospects. How is that even possible, right? After all the deals they've made.
Yeah, because they have a terrific farm system, and that allows them, because everybody knows they have a terrific farm system, it then allows them to go make more deals for other great players from other organizations. Because people trust that if I get a prospect from the Dodgers organization, the kid has a pretty good chance of becoming something pretty good.
Yep.
Hey, well, don't fret, because we'll be keeping an eye about 2038. If the planet still exists, we'll have that kid, the 11-year-old they signed from Venezuela.
There you go. Hey, he's
and Mossimo should be up a little bit before that.
Just wait until their voices deepen, and then they'll be ready.
Can I say, I heard Dabo, he was interviewed this morning. He's infuriating. They asked him about running it back, and he's like, well, I don't know. We had Kyle Schwarber. He's the greatest power hitter on the market. Like, did we not want to sign him because we wanted change? Or we signed the best catching free agent. Did we not want to sign him because we just needed change? They're not like mutually exclusive. That's what we're saying. Sign Kyle Schwarber and Eugenio Suarez. He's hyping up Bohm from 2 years ago when he's an all-star with 90 runs driven in or whatever, but don't hype me up on that.
By the way, the other issue with him is he's so bad when he falls out of love with a player. Like, you can't sell me Bohm when you tried to peddle Bohm for 2 years and got no takers.
Right.
When you told the world in neon that Nick Castellanos would not be back. Like, hey, go sit with Howie for 15 minutes and maybe you'll learn how to actually negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to the point where, sign me up to play poker with Dave Dombrowski.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna know what he's holding before he's it's what's the Christopher Walken line from True Romance? You don't want to tell me nothing, you're telling me everything. Like, come on.
I heard on this morning too. They're like, do you think you have a better team than the fans do? The fans seem to not be that excited. And he's like, wow, when I see the fans, they're very nice to my face. And he's like, when I see them in West Palm Beach, I was like, West Palm Beach? What is he talking about?
West Palm Beach. It's not even Clearwater. You're on the wrong side of the state, Holmes.
Like, what's he talking about?
I mean, he's got such an elitist attitude.
Well, that's what you always say to we kid that he's like yacht rock, Dave Dombrowski. And he's talking about the people in West Palm Beach.
But that's just it, guys, right? Like, it's one thing. You can't spin the bringing Schwarber back and bringing Realmuto back when they were already here, and when the other moves that you made, when your history of making the supplementary kind of moves that the team is needed to make to be good isn't, your record doing that isn't good. Whit Merrifield didn't work out. You know, why am I drawing a blank? On the left-handed hitting outfielder last year. Kepler didn't work out. You know, maybe Garcia will work out, but if it does, it'll
Austin
totally
Hayes
break.
didn't work out.
It'll totally break from the pattern of who he's gone after and why it hasn't worked.
Now, there's the tone deaf thing that you just go, what? Like, who's desperately in need of like a president with a personality is the Phillies. Like you need like the Pat Croce effect that happened in 2001. Like the Sixers could use one too, by the way. Like, but the Phillies need someone to energize the fan base, right? Someone to be like a little bit forthright, a little bit of a cheerleader, right? Like to relate to. Because like Dombrowski's the most unrelatable dude in town, and even more than the eel, who is a strange cat.
So, I wrote this after the Phillies fired Gabe Kapler, that they misread or ignored or didn't take into enough consideration how people are going to react. To your point, cuz, like how people are going to react to seeing and listening to the manager day after day after day. And Gabe Kapler may very well have been, I don't know what was in the guy's mind and heart while he was here. He may very well have been sincere every single day. I kind of doubt that. But, about what he said and his reasons for doing stuff. But around here, people will take the right kind of fake over the wrong kind of real. And Kapler was the wrong kind of real. And then the Phillies went and hired Joe Girardi, who was even, was kind of similar in that regard, was kind of like the wrong kind of real, couldn't handle himself, speaking, clearly like if you handed him a lump of coal, he would have squeezed it into a diamond in his bare hand. Like he was not a fit here for what they needed. Rob Thompson kind of is, but he's not a cheerleader. He's not a spokesman. They need somebody else to kind of be out there who the fans can just kind of connect with a little bit.
Yeah, I like that's an important, that relation guy between fan and organization is important. Like you got to go and listen. The town hall stuff, I always think is good. Like go let everybody blow off some steam and say like and you have the guy be real. Listen, all right. Here's the truth of the matter. Like, I hear you. We need a right-handed bat. We tried to get Bichette. They 11th hour, they come back to us with this ridiculous offer. And, like, I can't do it. Like, we can't go spend, like $40 million for 1 year on Bichette. It just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, did I want to change it up and add? Yeah, so now we're going to wait until the trade deadline. Right. And I'm going to hope that there's somebody there that we can go get. And, like, just give me real.
Yeah, and the Eagles can get away with it because, A, they've won twice under Howie. Howie's obviously really good at his job. And they have players who are that kind of real when they talk. Jordan Mailata, and they've had Brandon Graham, and they've had Jason Kelsey, and they've had guys who are relatable and in and among the public so that the fans feel that way. Even if, I'm sure, we all know there are tons of fans who don't like the way Nick Sirianni interacts with them publicly. But at least A, Sirianni's real, and B, if you don't like him, well, you can like what a lot of the players say and do and how they carry themselves. The Phillies don't really have that. Schwarber's a really good guy. He obviously is kind of the leader, and he always presents himself really, really well.
Yeah, he's great.
But they don't have that kind of guy who's just, look, everybody, here's where it is, and here's how it shakes out.
And you see players, like there is a great, in baseball especially, there's a divide between the clubhouse and the front office. Like,
sure.
As you know, having been in a lot of clubhouses, they hate the front office. Like, they hate the suits. Like, every once in a while, there's a GM goes on a road trip. Suit trip. right?
Yeah, of course. And that is part of that. That is the subtext to me of the entire Dombrowski-Harper controversy over the last 6 months, is the fact that Harper cursed out the commissioner of baseball when he came into the Phillies clubhouse. And if you think people in the Phillies front office, the front office of a team that has always regarded itself as doing things for the good of the sport and going along to getting along within the broader context
I mean,
of Major League
William
Baseball.
Giles.
Right. If you don't think that ticks some people off and put them on edge, you're crazy.
Yeah.
He had his chance, they asked him about the brace meeting. Well, that's behind closed doors. I'm going to leave. He mentioned closed doors now 4 times.
Shut up.
And do you regret anything you said in November? He's like, well, that's November. I'm not going to rehesh it. All he had to say was, I probably shouldn't have said it. Yeah, my bad.
He's got no.
He had his chance to be like,
he's so tone deaf.
Yeah.
He's the worst. He's the worst at actually relating to the fan base.
Yeah.
He has no idea, nor does he care, and it comes across. So you kind of read what you sow. I think the Sixers need that too, to be honest with you. I think the Sixers, listen, it all comes down to, we know it comes down to Joel. But Joel just missed a 2-week period because of the shin. And it was there was no straight answer again.
Nope.
No answer. You got nobody to go to. The Eel hides, right? He's a witness protection guy. Right?
The eel.
He does.
He should be out there. He looks like, he's slovenly a little. He always throws a blazer on. Oh, I'm going to look professional. Let me throw a blazer on. That's all he does.
He actually should be. I agree with you.
He's
actually an interesting dude.
Yes,
but
he
again,
is.
He's another one that is too thin-skinned to play the role.
In this situation, I'll disagree with you slightly in this respect. I think what has them on edge and what has them spinning and talking in circles is Joel himself. I think Joel is very sensitive to how his injuries are framed, and he has been for a long, long time.
Agreed.
And so they're on tiptoes. They're probably looking at it and saying, what good does it do us to speak frankly about this? Are we going to get a better version of Embiid if we talk like this? For all we know, he may get offended. He may not like this. And then where are we?
I mean, listen, at this stage, we all know what the deal is, right?
I know. I know.
What are you going to get offended about? I could do that job in 3 seconds, and in the same breath of going, hey, we're waiting for Joe. Listen, Joe's very sensitive to his body, and we're waiting for Joe. And I don't know. This thing may go on a couple more days. All right. Mm-hmm. But we need Joe. Joe's playing great ball. You see, man. Look at Joe's attitude, man. Joe, when he's on the bench, he's engaged. Joe's got a great attitude. I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that also involves the half of being a general manager or a franchise spokesperson that a lot of franchises don't bother with anymore. They just don't. Right? Look at the Patriots, right? The Patriots taught a generation of major sports franchises that you don't have to be forthcoming as long as you have your fans and are winning, right? And nobody has won at the level that Belichick and Brady did, but they all look at that and go, you know what? We don't have to tell you stuff. As long as we win, we'll get books written about us and everything's cool.
Yeah. No, it's a good point.
Look at Andy. Look at Andy Reid. Not forthcoming publicly. And now, good to talk to behind closed doors. Good to talk to off the record.
See, he gives
you stuff. Yes, but publicly, how much crap did Andy take for his keeping things close to the vest while he was here?
Well, you also needed a president like Joe. Joe Banner wasn't warm and fuzzy type. I believe every organization needs a warm and fuzzy type. If we look at Flyers, the one thing I would say to Jonesy is, you got to be out there more. Out there.
Be out there
more.
More. Yep.
Especially now where everybody's restless. You got to be more. You got to be out there constantly.
I agree with you completely. If I were the Flyers, and if they're listening, they should do this. If I were the Flyers, I would have Jonesy out there telling stories about his career, interacting with great players as counterbalancing examples to Mishkov. Hey, I was there when Joe Sakic was a young player, and here's what he went through. I was there when Peter Forsberg, was a young player. Here's what he did. Here's when I was with the Flyers in 2000. Here are the mistakes they made in handling Eric Lindros, who was an established superstar when I got there.
Yeah.
And here's kind of how it went bad. You don't have to do that on a radio show or a podcast. You can do that to the beat writers. You could do it on the record and kind of blunt the impact of it. And the beats will write that. A columnist will write it. Look me up, Jonesy. Call.
Right.
We'll talk.
And by the way, and then go on. You do the rounds, right? Go on shows. He's got such a great personality.
And I would say this too. Like, there's no guarantee that you're going to do that with someone like me or Kevin Kurz at the Athletic or Charlie at your place and have us just like regurgitate it and say, yes, everything Jonesy said is 100% correct. But at least you're out there and you are engaging with what everybody is concerned about and talking about, and you can engage with it in a frank and honest way.
Yeah. Like, and one of the, it's funny, we have this Flyers conversation a lot because people are restless, right? Like, we have great Flyer fans in the chat, right? Great Flyer fans. And I'm like, in this, I want them to be good so bad. Like, I can't wait. Mm-hmm. And I also know that it's a bigger rebuild, and it's hard to judge guys coming up. Like, and I understand, like, when they look at Jet hasn't kind of reached what I think everybody's hoping for, and you look down below, and right now the only guy that there's a lot of excitement around is Martone, right? Like, right. And you got to get more talent. But the thing is a bigger rebuild. It
is, and it doesn't matter that they haven't been good for a while. Like, this was always the example I would use. I remember, not to invoke a blasphemous name around here, but this was something Sam Hinkie used to say a lot, which was, it doesn't matter how badly you want to go to war. If you have pea shooters and your enemy has machine guns, you're going to lose. And the Flyers they don't have enough machine guns yet. No. And it doesn't matter that they wasted 10 years, looking for them and coming up with German Rubstoff and Nolan Patrick. They still don't have them. So it's going to take a long time to find them and accumulate them. And you're just going to have to ride it out.
Here's what. So while we're talking, we're getting some feedback, and they say, like, how can you rebuild properly when you kept the draft expert of the previous regime who did not do well?
Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point. Maybe they need I've made this point, VG, about the Chicago Blackhawks in the past. Like, they had that kind of mini dynasty in the 2010s where they beat the Flyers in 2010 to win the Cup, then won again in 2013, and then won again in 2015. And the core of that team, Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves and Seabrook and Duncan Keith, the big four that they had, were all guys that they had drafted over the previous 10 years. That franchise had been god-awful. They had missed the playoffs 9 out of 10 years. They lost their local TV rights. Like, the Blackhawks were nothing in Chicago. And what it allowed them to do was kind of start fresh. Like, they didn't need to bring back Denny Savard and Bobby Hull and all these great players in the past. They were like, forget it. We're just going to start fresh with these new guys. And they built this mini dynasty. And the Flyers have needed to do something like that for a while, where they just kind of like, you know what? We got to let some of the past go. We know our traditions. We want to honor them to a certain degree, but we got to, like, wipe the slate clean. And they haven't been able to do it.
Well, you can't do it the same way the Blackhawks did, because the Blackhawks got #1 overall picks, right?
Yeah.
Well, with Kane, they did. Yeah. I think Taves was a number 3. Keith was a second-round pick, I think. But they hit on those picks. Look at the Flyers draft history. I wrote a column about this a couple of weeks ago. It's not just that they missed on guys like Patrick and Ivan Provorov. Like, look at the second, third, fourth. Like, they don't find any diamonds in the rough over the last 25 years. There's nobody who they just like randomly pick in the 5th round who turns out to be a star. Like the Detroit Red Wings when they were winning, and competing for cups in like '08 and '09, their 2 best players were Pavel Datsyuk and Heinrich Zetterberg, and they were both 5th or 4th round picks.
Yeah. When do we see? And again, I look at it and I go, all right, like those guys, like Jonesy and Danny, take over in May of 23, right? So you have, this is basically their 3rd season on the job, and it's a steep, like it's a big deep dive. Like there's no way to fast forward and take a shortcut. There's a lot of pain, and there's still pain left.
Yeah, there is. You're 100% right, and it's adding to it. It's the underlying reason why people are so worked up about the Matvei Michkov situation is because fans are looking at this kid and saying, the Flyers don't get players like this, and we need this guy to be a superstar. And who else right now is potentially a superstar on this roster and in this organization? You're right. Jonesy and Danny have been on the clock for what, 3 years now.
Well, this is the 3rd year.
This is the 3rd year, right?
Yeah.
You got to give them more time. But it's something like they've drafted like 26 players, I think, and only 3 of them have suited up for the Flyers. Mishkov, Jet Luchenko, and one other guy.
That's not. It's like hockey draft. Unless you're getting blue chippers at the top.
I know, but you also need to hit on some of these. I'm not necessarily blaming them in the way I would blame Chuck Fletcher or anybody else who came before them, because the Flyers.
And that's the problem, because I think the past regime bleeds in.
Yeah. Yes.
To this regime when. There's got to be a mark of delineation, right? A line of delineation between past regime and this regime. And, I get people being upset about Dvorak, like, are you spending money on that? And how come you're not moving, Couturier or even TK? Like, are you going to go all in? Are you half pregnant? Like, what are you doing? That's their gripe. And the Flyers' gripe is like, hey, man, we're trying to navigate this thing, and it's not easy. Like, you got to be like, we're not getting number 1 picks that are can't misses.
Yeah, and what's underrated about hockey too is how much of a difference a single great player can make.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you have to build
that can
a
make
team.
a line.
Right. But if you get a Connor McDavid, and it took Edmonton a long time with McDavid to get to the point where they were reaching the Stanley Cup Finals. But if you get a Crosby or an Ovechkin, like that one guy, but there are only so many of those guys.
Well, that's the problem. Like, and that's why I'm kind of like, I know it rubs the chat. I love them. And I love their passion. And I thank God for them that they care that deeply. I just am more lenient when it comes to, I know that the job, it's got to take, there's going to be more pain.
Yes, there's got to be more pain. And there's no guarantee that even as personable and genuinely decent people as Jonesy and Danny are, there's no guarantee they're going to get this right. There just isn't.
But again, I think they're qualified people. Like, and that just comes from conversations that I've had over the years. Like, I can only judge a guy that I look at and go, does he know? Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
but you're right. Like, I would like them to be good again. I've said this forever. There's nothing better than covering playoff hockey. I just miss covering it, whether it's the Flyers or another team. And the region could use that because it had been a great source of juice every year on the sports calendar around here, and it hasn't been there forever.
I know. And the shame is Vladar's worked out. Right? Like, hit on that. The Michkov thing, I mean, you know it. Like, you got a young kid come in, has the world by the stones, right? Like, you're living, and all of a sudden you're a new culture. You know, and something as stupid as, you look at the food, and you go, oh my God, I'm in Disney World.
Exactly.
And, and so maybe I don't work out as much, and I put on a few pounds. Like that's like a sophomore in kind of the freshman 20 or whatever it's called.
He's eating exactly the same way as I was, I'm sure, when I was going to the LaSalle dining hall when I was 20 years old.
Exactly. And so all that comes into play of why you're up here and then you go down a little bit, and then coach is annoyed by it, and he's less annoyed and more trying to teach you a lesson so that you'll kind of get it together. And that's why you see a lot of these stars go like this, and then they shoot up.
Yeah. And that gets to what we said about Jonesy, being the obvious candidate to be able to speak to that in an accessible way. And I do think, too, that franchises now are scared of social media to one degree or another. And they have to they should remind themselves that, for all the hubbub on Twitter or Instagram, that doesn't represent everyone.
No.
And, they should keep that in mind.
Yes. Yeah, you're so right about that. We get so listen, I know you got to roll, but I could talk to you all day, man. Like, so it's
always enjoy it, guys. Sorry I got to cut out early, but I'm heading out to Ursinus College to speak to some journalism students, and I got to get
nice, man. They'll be lucky kids. They got to pay attention. We love you, buddy.
You hear that? Anybody who's watching, I'm coming for you at 1:00, and I got to get out. You better be paying attention.
All right, that's my advice.
All right.
See you, brother.
Thanks, fellas.
The great Mike Sealski. He's terrific.
Looks like he's about ready to jog up there or sign his old Rocky gear going on.
He's got the beanie on. That's nice.
Do you think, Dvorak came in late, but do you think the Flyers lack? We talked about they don't have a true C. Someone to give Miskov a little leadership, a vet leadership to show him the way a little bit.
Tocchet can only do so much, right?
Yeah, he's the coach.
As the coach, you need somebody in there.
You need a vet peer.
Yeah, go, yo, come on.
Dial it back a little bit.
You do.
Now, the messaging, he's saying he's worked out every day while he's been off twice a day most days. So maybe
I'm hoping.
Maybe he comes back in these 2 weeks and looks great.
Well, that's
a little faster.
That's kind of where I'm at, right? I gave you that. I think that's where they're going to be. I really do. Man, I really hope. I miss it. I'm looking forward to them being back tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard. We just watched great hockey, so I hope they're decent.
I'm
coming off that gold medal game. It's going to be the first hockey game I watch.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to the game. I can't wait for the game to start. Let the season start back up.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Anyway, but I think these teams you need.
And Vladar's got a new helmet. They got a little video. I can't really show it because there's music behind it, but it's a mashup of Metallica and Iron Maiden, his new mask helmet.
Oh, that's nasty, dude.
Yeah,
that's
I'm ready to see that.
Yeah, and I get where the chat's coming from. I'm sympathetic, and I appreciate the whole thing. We put, and here's the thing about the truth about social media. Like Mike was saying. So we had JR on, and JR was talking about Tocchet, and it's well, what do you expect? He's going to have his boys back, and and stuff. Well, yeah,
that's fair enough.
But he also has insight, knows the guy, and while is he going to rip Toc? No, he's not, and we understand that. And then what happens is people on social media, you fire off a quip because you're not realizing that stuff gets. People see that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're firing off a nasty quip. And I get it, but these are real, these are people that are, they are accomplished. Listen, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm hopeful that those guys have the acumen, and I think they do.
I think this is a big year for them. This is the year, this offseason stuff. We'll see what happens. But they could win back the base. I mean, not that the base is anywhere, but just give the base a little more hope than they currently have.
You got to get hope.
Yeah.
That's number one.
They got to be creative. They got to get a 1C in here. I mean, they can't go on with this center situation much longer.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. We got talk about some business. You got some nugs.
Yeah, we got nugs.
That kid from the Pirates. Wow. My God. I love these young shortstops. I love them. I love them. We're going to talk about some nugs and then the brain for the daily grind. But first, let's do some business. Let's talk about Parks Casino, baby. That's right, a great place for headline entertainment. Just announced the Gene Simmons Band, July 24th. Comedian Andrew Dice Clay on May 16th. Hickory Dickory Dock. June 12th, tribute to Paul McCartney. Tickets available still for these headliners. March 14th, comedian Tracy Morgan, who's hysterical. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Cheap Trick, April 3rd.
Why don't you do with me?
April 18th, Melissa Etheridge. May 14th, The Wallflowers. August 29th, Australian Pink Floyd. And November 13th, Grand Funk Railroad.
Nice.
What's their song?
I don't know offhand.
ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all these incredible shows, all the great restaurants. Check it out. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now let's talk about Rothman. Yes, Rothman, keeping you in the game. If pain is slowing you down, knee, shoulder, back, whatever it is, you don't got to deal with it. No, the team at Rothman Orthopedics has you covered. They've been recognized as the #1 physician practice in the country by Castle Connolly for having the most top doctors in orthopedic care. That's elite expertise, trusted nationwide in our backyard. Getting started is easy. Head over to rothmanortho.com/PHLY to schedule an appointment today. You don't know what type of specialist to schedule with? Use their fast schedule program to quickly connect with their VIP scheduling team to get you set up with the appropriate specialist for your injury. And with Rothman Now, you can get immediate access to an orthopedic expert for guidance when you need it. At Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility is their mission. Book today, rothmanortho.com/PHLY, and get back to doing what you love, pain-free. Now, time for VG's Nugs.
VG's Nugs. Nugs. It's just time for VG's Nugs. VG's Nugs.
All right, you mentioned we can't show any video of it because you know these people at MLB, but Connor Griffin is there's like 1 or 1A top prospect with local guy McGonigal.
Kevin McGonigal.
He
soon to be on the program.
He pitched. He played against Connor's 19. He took a Ranger Suarez ball 375 feet,
dude,
in the second inning.
2 bombs.
And then he took a Seth Martinez shot 440 feet, and the kid says, "Got some good swings off, so I kind of smoked them." He's 19. He's looking to be the first teenager to debut on an opening day roster since
Trout?
No. Further back.
Doc Gooden?
Griffey. 1989.
Wow.
The first teenager to be on an opening day roster. He's
hoping.
hoping.
Gooden was before that.
Yeah.
Wow, Junior, dude. I love these kids. Those Pirates, man.
They draft really well. I will say they draft well.
Dude, like they got the kid. They got their studs everywhere.
Every couple of years they're trading studs.
They got the pitcher too, Bubba Chandler.
Yeah, I mean they do a nice job drafting. That owner there, I mean it's offensive what he does. When they spend 35% of revenue on
but you know
player
what?
salaries.
They're all the same though, dude, because the Dodgers, you were like, well, the Dodgers spent 74%. Yeah, 74% of a huge pie. Much bigger pie.
The reality is, though, if you can't afford, if you need 65% of the team revenue to pay bills and make a profit, then you don't belong owning the team. You have to have money almost fair. Where it's like, if I break even and the equity I get,
right.
I would pay you $150 million, and then my team's worth $18 billion or $8 billion. I mean, that's where it's at.
Listen, dude, that's fair. You're
so
right.
I mean, I feel it's personal to me. I have a lot of friends in Pittsburgh because I went to school in Western Pennsylvania, and they just get shafted. They're excited for the season for 10 days.
Although the Brain's going to join us a little bit later on, and the Pirates the Buccos might be his sleeper team.
I would like to see the Buccos be competitive. I like a good. We go. I'm thinking
Dude,
about
I
going
love
out
these
to see
kids, like
Pittsburgh.
these 19-year-old dudes, like shortstops, like because every kid wants to be shortstop.
They do. That's the position.
Oh yeah, like in youth baseball,
Yeah.
up through the travel
Why?
circuit, shortstop's it.
That's like a quarterback.
Oh yeah, shortstop's everything.
Really?
Yeah, the best
Wow.
kid's always a shortstop.
Would you want to? If you were, do you think? I never wanted to play shortstop. I don't think I would now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All
All right. I
played
like
more
catcher,
third,
like
but-
center field.
yeah. No, but shortstop's it, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, no, shortstop is the elite position
All right.
for you
I had no idea.
and travel baseball. It's all about shortstop.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, shortstop is like my kid. Everybody clamors to play short.
Wow. I don't get it.
Like, and all
Well,
the
are the
dads
shortstops usually also
want their
pitchers?
kids to play short. Yeah, I mean, everybody pitches.
Everybody pitches.
Like, every kid pitches up until a certain, like, once you get to, I'd say right around, 14, 15, 16 U, and you're in high school, then it's when it gets real. Like, the kids start to drop off. Like, you get the big field, everybody pitches in youth baseball.
Yeah.
Then you reach the big field, and kids start to drop off.
Do you get the perception in that Major League Baseball shortstop's the coolest position? I'm like, I don't know if I'd want.
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, interesting.
You don't think shortstop is
I don't know. I
Is
think
Glenn?
third base a little
shortstop's glam, man?
cooler. It is.
Yeah.
All right.
I've always wanted, like, I wanted Moss
Julie,
to
what do
play
you
short.
think? You think of the players like when you what are appealing players? Is shortstop a cool position?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm wrong here.
Goes back to
I'm wrong.
my favorite was Tulowitzki
Yeah.
because he was like a 6'5" shortstop.
Well, yeah. They used to be the tiniest guys,
Yeah.
and then it just really transitioned.
Yeah, where you get the big dudes,
Yeah.
like, athletes.
Yeah, like 6'4".
Like, I wanted Moss to play short.
What's wrong? Glove range doesn't like it.
He just never, there was always a kid playing short.
Okay.
Like, there was always another coach's kid playing short. So, whatever.
All right.
And then he fell in love with, like, I think he likes center field the best.
I think center field is the cool position.
Yeah, he'll
Be a good center
pitches
fielder with
too,
a little pop.
But he likes, like,
And then catcher. I mean, there's
I was
something
gonna
about
say
wearing
catcher.
the gear, coming off the field.
Catcher,
with the
catcher's
gear.
catcher's
all-
number
like-
one. Catcher's number
I
one, I
agree.
think.
Catcher
And then
is number
shortstop
one.
would be, yeah.
You know what? Chicks dig catchers.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, like
JT
Jules
used my
loves
guy.
the
Yeah.
catcher.
Yeah.
Catchers are cool. I
Yeah.
agree with that. But shortstop's glam.
I can see that. Yeah. It's like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
All right.
shortstop's
All right.
glam.
Yeah, I got you.
Nah, not wide receiver. Your quarterback catcher thing is real, but
Yeah.
your shortstop is also like it's less diva than
Okay.
receiver.
All right. Friend of NFL Eagles, Sean Payton, coming out saying some good words for the Birds. Little tush push commentary.
Sean Payton.
Yeah, I like Sean Payton.
Which play do you think is more of a health risk? 1,000 more kick returns. So I think if we choose to ever move on from that, it won't be because of health and safety. It will just be like we don't like it, which is okay.
Yeah, he's calling it out. Kick returns are way more dangerous.
Yeah, he's
We're keeping
right.
them. Yeah.
You saw the whole thing about the commissioner used the Packers
Yes.
to basically
Yes.
because the commissioner they don't like the tush push, right?
Mhm.
Like, let's be real, they don't like it.
It's ugly, boring. It's not football.
Well, it's ugly and boring is how they view it.
Yeah.
It's more rugby style.
Yeah.
So they don't like it. So they bullied the Packers and
I'll never forgive the Packers and the Bills. They're public enemies number one and two of the
because
tush push.
commissioners, they were doing the dirty work of the commissioners.
Yeah.
Do your dirty work, scapegoat.
What's that from?
Mr. Metallica, you don't know that?
Do your dirty work, scapegoat?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not a lyrics guy. What song is that? Enter Sandman?
No.
What is it?
Uh,
Someone will tell us. Eddie Wright will tell us.
I'll know it in a second. I just gotta
Yeah,
go.
I need the melodies.
I gotta go. Yeah, give me your other melody. I'll give it to you.
All right. Saw something yesterday I never saw in all of baseball. Wilyer Abreu. Did you see this? He cracked his bat. I know you're singing a Metallica song. in your head.
Yeah. I'm going through the lyrics.
But this guy cracked his bat without hitting anything. The force he generated, I can't show you, but here's the bat breaking in half.
Oh,
as
my God.
he whips back to check swing. The force he generates forward and then the resistance back to check it cracked his bat. I've never seen anything like that before. He hit nothing, made contact with nothing.
Oh, my God. Look at that. That's unbelievable.
Crazy, dude. I got to search this now because you're all confused in your head now.
Yeah, I'll think of it in a second.
Oh, sad but true.
Yeah.
That's the Black Album one. I don't love the Black Album one. I got to be honest with you.
I love
That's
the
when they
Black
got a little like commercial, and people like you started liking them.
Yeah.
You do it was the South Philly Italian kids are in the Metallica.
Yeah.
Us as burnouts were like,
Yeah.
this ain't great anymore.
Yeah. That's true.
No, I'm like serious. Yeah, we hate Bob Rock, the producer. He sold them out, made them commercial. Yeah.
I can see that.
Here's a picture we didn't want to see, but we need to see it to move on. Our cute little friend Ranger wearing Boston Red Sox gear, making his debut. It hurts. I'm a little sad. I mean, they couldn't bring him back.
I'll be honest with you. My sentimentality with Ranger is waned.
What?
Yeah.
How? Why? What did he do? How did he hurt you?
I mean, I like him, but I'm not.
You're not saying
like he's never been my.
You're not gonna miss him dancing and
That smile.
Yeah, it's like Chooch when Chooch.
He's not Chooch. Stop acting like he's Chooch.
So cute.
Nobody's Chooch.
Nah, but he's like that. He's got cute.
He's not Chooch.
All right.
He's not Chooch, dude. Stop making him out to be Chooch. He's not.
Cute and pudgy. He's a little cute pudgy. You know who's cute and pudgy these days? Ha ha ha. Well, we used to have BDN. Won a Super Bowl here. Now we got BBN. Big Belly Nick. Nick's been interviewing OCs apparently at buffets. They must interview 22 offensive coordinators at buffets because he looks like he put on 25 pounds. Dude, look at the slam. It's ridiculous. We just saw him 2 months ago. He looked fine. The reports of him holding his interview with the reporters where there were no cameras, he had his legs up, leaning back with Ugg slippers on. Yeah, I think he's getting a little fat and lazy. It's why.
Well, I think it's more.
He cashed that page. He got the contract.
It's less the lazy and more just the long hours in the food. No, because the food, you get steak, cheesesteaks, and pizza. You know.
You got to set an example. Come on, at this day and age, a new generation of coaches. McVay never catch himself looking like that.
Well, but again, like Andy, like I remember Andy.
He's stress eating.
Andy had, if you went to his office, I always would tell the story, right?
Yes.
I always found it interesting. You went to the office. He had 2 desks. He had his administrative desk.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And the administrative desk was the desk where he hated. He'd do all the paperwork and, all the stuff that he had to do as the general manager, president,
yes.
thing. Then he had his coaching desk. And the coaching desk, you would have, I'll never forget, there was a big monitor and you watch his film.
Yeah.
And next to that was a freezer, refrigerator, and he had ice cream in there.
Yeah, it's Andy.
And he would sit
eating bonbons,
eat ice cream, watching tape.
Yeah.
Or eating like to bring burgers in. He loved his burgers.
Well, yeah, he's always been a big guy. Nick's, you've been pretty fit.
Yeah, but like when you're watching tape and you're quite, although I don't know well.
We don't need him watching tape, but if he does, you watch it on a treadmill these days. Treadmill's got screens built into them. Hey, Caddy Shacked in the chat with a very interesting question in light of that Nick Sirianni picture. Who is fatter, Nick Sirianni or Matvey Michkov?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's great.
I think it's Nick. I mean, obviously it's Nick. Just in case anyone was wondering.
Well, I'm hoping Matt May is.
No, he's gonna be slim. We see him.
He's gonna be big tonight.
Yeah, yeah. He's doing those sit-ups on the basketball courts, throwing basketballs in the hoop from half court. Yeah.
All right, joining us now for the daily grind, our man, the Brain.
Brain. Red the Brain Finder.
Brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino app, and that's right, on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Brain, did you see that kid Connor Griffin hit 2 mammoth shots yesterday?
Yeah, Anthony, who did I tell you was my all-in team this year? I told you it's the Pirates. Like, that's my biggest investment.
So,
yeah,
before
I told you
you
this.
came on, what did I say?
Yeah, you said it.
I said
It's
the
your
Brain,
sleeper.
You're like Blue Horseshoe. Blue Horseshoe loves the Pirates.
Well, it's funny. It has moved like crazy, Anthony. The numbers I got versus what they are now, I got like over 73.5. I think there's 79.5. I got 15-1 to win the division. They're down to like 6-1. I got like 5-1 to make the playoffs. They're down to like 3-1. So again, it doesn't mean anything unless it cashes. But yeah, I was right. That was, I mean, in theory, looks like, a good bet as of today. But again, this is a team that added a lot in the offseason. They had Ozuna. They had Brandon Lau. They had Ryan O'Hearn. And now they get a guy that is the most hyped prospect since Mike Trout. So, this is a team to me. I bet I'm head-to-head against the Phillies, getting 6-1 odds to finish with a better record than the Phillies as well. I think this team's going to be good. I really do.
Well, I mean, between Skeens and you got Bubba Chandler and you got the other kid.
Jared Jones will be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a team that has a good pitching staff. And I think the pitching staff should be really good. But I think the lineup is vastly improved. Vastly, because they were strutting out there last year, Anthony, like garbage at the highest level. And it's just not going to be like it now. And especially, again, if Connor makes the team, which I think he's going to. Again, we'll see. I mean, I don't know how they're going to play it because they've incentivized it now, guys. I'm not sure if you know this. Like now, if you win like Rookie of the Year, you get extra first-round picks as a way to make it where it used to be. I remember Chris Bryant back in the day at the Cubs. He was clearly the best player on the team, and they didn't bring him up until the day that he gets an extra year of service time. So, but they've done it, kind of making that now where the better prospects have a chance to come up earlier. So we'll see what Pittsburgh does. Plus,
Which is smart because
very smart.
We love phenoms. I love phenoms. Love phenoms. It's like my boy McGonigal. Like when it was
he's the clear number 2 prospect. Yeah, he's supposed to be phenomenal. So it's funny, Andy. I have one thing I haven't done in the last 50 years, I'll say 45 years, 40 years. I've not bought a baseball card. And now, as you know, these cards are exploding with like all this stuff. And I was really thinking of making a big investment and buying some Connor Griffin, the high-end rookies. But man, they're already a fortune. So I just don't know it well enough to know if even I'm right, how much I'll get rewarded, because I'm not sure how much of it's already baked into the price. Because I think he's going to be.
How much is a Connor Griffin rookie card?
Well, the ones that I would want to buy, which are the top ends, are like close to $100,000. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's crazy.
$100,000.
Like how many of them are out there?
60 to 80,000. I saw. I mean, yeah, it depends. But some are over 100,000.
Off taking a shot, buying a couple boxes of tops.
Maybe so. Again, I didn't pull the trigger because I just don't know the upside on it. But then you see these cards that get sold for these crazy numbers. But I think from everything, usually these scouts are not wrong. And when a guy's this hyped, I think the odds are he's going to be great. The negative is he's playing in Pittsburgh, right? It's not a big media city like New York or someone like that, where if we were to like Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani and be a megastar in one of those cities, that obviously enhances the value of the card that much more. Someone playing in Pittsburgh, not as much, but I think he's going to be the real deal, and I think the Pirates are going to be tough.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't know anything about this. Like my kids, like Massimo loves the cards, right? So Like
Yeah.
we get it, like, you're stocking, you get a, couple packs of cards or a sleeve or whatever, you know. Is the Connor Griffin rookie card this year's crop? Or was it last
No,
year?
it's that's a good question, Anthony. It was like a 2024 and 2025. First of all, no, it was last year, but it's amazing with these cards now. And I had to try to educate myself. There's like a million cards. I'm not even joking. Like when I was growing up, it was Topps, Donruss, Fleer, and mostly Topps. And you just knew, okay, here was just this guy's rookie. There was no, now there's refractor cards, there's gold cards, there's red refractors, there's orange refractors, there's gold refractors, there's chromes, there's all this stuff where it's just another way. Like there may be, for example, there may be like 10 of a black, 20 of a gold, 5 of a red, and obviously you'd want the red. There's only 5 of them versus 20 of a gold. It's but
So
that's
it's
but
kind
that's
of a
the way the industry's
manufactured.
gone.
It's kind of a manufactured.
100%.
Yeah.
Here's one, Brain.
They create scarcity,
Yeah.
and they create scarcity and demand. Again, I haven't bought a card. Again, I have not bought a card since I was probably, like, no exaggeration, 12 years old. Like, so it's been like 40 years since I bought a card. So I'm not like an expert, but I just see how these cards are going for an insane amount of money, like insane, where I'm like, maybe if I did dedicate myself to it, if I'm right on some of these guys, maybe, but again, it's kind of built into I don't know how much upside there is when a card's already costing $100,000. Guys haven't even played. Kind of insane to me.
I'm looking at this Griffin's first Bowman Pad Paradasha 1/1 autograph draft sapphire is on eBay for $149,000.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Which mechanical?
VG, we going partners, VG?
Yeah, I'll throw up like $12.
Hey, man, you'll be.
That's crazy. All right. What do we got tonight, my brother?
It's funny. Yesterday, Anthony, weird day. Like I gave you 3 games and 3 props. Went 0-3 in the props. Won all 3 of the games. Usually I do better on the props, but today I'm going to stick with a couple games. I told you yesterday the Bucks, I think, are playing much better. And they beat the Heat outright by 14. They're playing a really, really good Cavs team right now. The Cavs, again, that Harden trade helped them, in my opinion, beyond immensely. Again, I thought that was a good trade for both teams. But I think that's a trade where now Harden really just has to come in and be just a complimentary distributor. I kind of think this is the role at this point of his career he should be in. And I think Cleveland's playing really well. But that being said, I think 8.5 points back-to-back night for 2 of them, but Cleveland has to travel. I think 8.5 is too high. Well, I think Cleveland will win. I thought this line should have been in. I think the market is underrating the Bucks. They are trying to win.
Yeah.
They are not going the way of Indiana. They're not going the way of Utah. They're going the way of, they're still trying to make the playoffs here. 8.5 points at home. That's a lot. I say the Bucks not going to win like they won last night, but they keep it close. And then Denver's playing Boston. Another game I like. Boston. Now I think Jaylen Brown's going to play. He didn't play yesterday. I think he's going to play, but I get a free roll here. If he doesn't play, I'm going to win. If he does play, I still think I'm going to win. I like Denver -3 at home. Back-to-back for Boston. They won at Phoenix yesterday. A Phoenix team missing their entire team. I thought that line should have been closer to 4.5, 5, especially back-to-back, and especially considering, again, Jaylen Brown could actually be hurt. And, even if he plays, he may be limited. And then another play I had a total, was off in my numbers, so I did do it. Local team. St. Joe's is playing George Mason. I thought the total should have been like low 140s, bet over 136.5.
Oh, a little college action from Brain. I like it.
No, I mean, every now and then,
what's
my
an
friend,
interesting?
gotta keep you on your toes.
Is now I know no Shea, but 7.5 feels high. I'm just looking at it now. Detroit, OKC.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you
his
just
first
said. I mean,
came
it's
in and
not
beat
even
him.
just not just Anthony, but it's not just no Shea. It's no Jalen Williams as well. So they are missing their two, theoretically their two best players, and they may be missing some other players. You see, by the way, have you seen how well he shot the ball what's his? Oh my God, the guy the Sixers traded, McCain. Jared McCain's played on for OKC. He's shooting close to 50%, nailing his threes, and
Dude,
he's
he's the
actually
first.
helped them.
Brain, he's the first guy off the bench
Yeah,
for
he can't play
OKC. Now
here, but he's
again,
able
there's
to play
no
at
Shea,
OKC.
and that moved him up because Isaiah Joe
100%,
has to start.
100%.
But the point is that his value, had he stayed here, his value, and you played him, his value would have been up. By the way, we're in overtime, OT,
Yeah.
overtime in the city. Like and subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate it, my family. Yeah, Brain. I like. I watch these box scores every night. I'm like,
I know you do. I know you do.
I love box scores. I love it. I don't know why. I just always love box
So
scores.
do I. So do I. It's like that was my thing as a kid, and I still love them. Fantasy, like all this stuff. I still love the box scores. To me are like it's my favorite. I love it.
I know.
I love the box score.
I like late at night before I go to bed. I'll sit down. I'll have I have water or whatever, and I'm just sitting there. I don't know, something, and I'll just look and I'll just go scroll through box scores. Like I saw Cade Cunningham had like an awful night the other night against the Spurs, and it was interesting because Wemby didn't go bananas, but they played great defense on that Pistons team. And I
told you that's my best bet on all the bets I put in this year. My favorite bet, and I had a feeling when I put it in. Told you my favorite bet. I got 40-1 odds. OKC to play the Spurs in the conference finals. Did it if like game 1 of the NBA season. OKC to play the Spurs. So I just needed them on the opposite side of the bracket. Right now they're the number 1 and 2 seeds. Getting 40-1 is probably should be a little closer to 2-1 now. But that was my favorite bet. But OKC. Again, I mean, I'm sorry, the Spurs. I'm not surprised at all about this. I mean, to me, the talent was there. Getting that De'Aaron Fox trade last year was huge. Keldon Johnson, 6-man's been terrific for them this year. I mean, they're 4-0 against OKC. I don't think they necessarily take them out, but again, they're clearly ahead of the plan of where everyone thought they would be. And Wemby is so freaking great. He's so tremendous that this team certainly has a shot, Anthony. If you were to tell me they'd win the title, I wouldn't call you nuts. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing tonight, aren't they? Spurs. I like watching the Spurs.
Spurs play Toronto, laying 7.5 on the road. Toronto. It's funny. That was my streak's gonna end, Anthony. I had this crazy streak the last 4 years. My biggest investment was usually a crazy long shot, and I was lucky enough to hit 3 in a row. This year it was the Raptors at 45-1 to win the division. They're not going to get there. But Toronto, when they play, someone who's followed them literally watches every one of their games. Whenever they play a good team, they lose, and they beat the bad teams. And they'll playing the Spurs tonight. They're going to lose. They cannot beat a good team. They cannot beat a good team. It's crazy. But they beat the bad teams. And so there's enough bad teams in this league that you can have a 34-25 record or whatever their record is and only be a couple of games out of first place just by beating up the bad teams and playing all your guys and trying.
Yeah.
Right? For every game, putting in your lineup as opposed to load management. It's all these teams are load management the entire way. It was good to see Embiid back yesterday. I mean, I never know when he's playing, when he isn't playing, but at least he was able to make an appearance, and I just never know how to manage him for the rest of his career going forward, Anthony, right? How do you know when he can play? How do you make him healthy for the playoffs? It's a tough way to live.
You got UConn St. John's tonight. I could see I think UConn's going to go on a bit of a run.
UConn, Anthony, they're to me now. Again, that's a rematch of the game they had last week. UConn to me, Anthony, St. John's on I think 14-game winning streak, their longest winning streak, I think they said ever. UConn to me is a team. I actually think UConn. They may have them third in my rankings. I really like UConn. I think UConn will cover this game. The line's sitting right now at 5.5. Looking at the screen right now, 5.5 for UConn. St. John's has been playing great. but I do think UConn gets. I watched that first game, and I actually felt UConn could have easily won. They lost a tight one in the Garden, but I think that UConn gets the revenge here. Again, I wish it was a little bit lower for me to have played it, but I still think they cover the 5.5. But if this line had been a point lower, I would have bet. I would have bet it because I thought it should have been closer to 6.5, but not quite enough edge for me to do it.
By the way, I think Nebraska throttles Maryland tonight. Like
yeah, I
20
mean,
point,
huge favor.
That's
Yeah.
a 20-point blowout.
Probably
you get it live now. I
Nebraska's-
like Army minus 2.5, but they're playing now. It just started. You have to live bet that.
Game started. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
And San
Early
Diego
start.
State tonight, minus 1.5 versus Utah State. I like them. I like the ass.
You're a trash man. You're a trash man. You knew that there's the Army games playing now.
I mean, you gotta love that.
Army
That
Buck
is-
no, man.
Florida, Texas.
How
good
many
game.
people do you think bet that game
Me.
besides VG?
That's
Anthony, how many?
insane. That's insane.
I was waiting for the number to go down. No one's betting it. There's no movement.
You moved the entire market. You move markets. You
Yeah.
bet it's gonna move it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. Are you getting ready to throttle up for? You got March Madness and then baseball.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm looking forward again. Obviously, the tournament will be great. Baseball, I cannot wait. It's funny, because the NBA has kind of made me so PO'd with how they've run their league. I'm getting more into baseball and less into the NBA. I'm sure I'll get into the playoffs when it actually starts, but I have severely been turned off by the NBA, and I hate the NIL in basketball. I don't know. I just, some of these things just I don't particularly love. Like when I went to school, I felt like if you went to Michigan, it meant something. Now it's like everyone transfers after 1 year. I know I probably sound annoying, but
no, it's funny. It's funny. Before the show, so I'm taking a shot when we're working on this college football project, and so I was trying to work on a pitch, right, to the networks about my project, right?
Yeah.
So I had to explain, because a lot of people in the room don't know sports like we know sports, right? So my job is to explain what the difference of NIL is and what happened and the explosion. And ours is college football, right? So I got to explain the lawsuit that happened and everything. So I read the pitch to VG. I go, VG, how's this sound? And anyway, so it's funny you brought it up, the NIL and what it was. We all bought it, right? Because we bought the Americana of it means something to go to play for Michigan. Meanwhile, everybody's making money except the players, right? Like it was a sham. Like we as fans love that stuff. You as a student in Michigan loved it. But was it fair to the Fab Five?
No,
that everybody
it
made
wasn't.
money, but those
No,
kids?
not at all. Not at all. No, you're 100%. Now, I can separate that. You're 100% accurate. You're 100% accurate. I'm not even 99. You're 100% accurate. It was horribly unfair. And I hated the NCAA. Like, not dislike, despise, loathe. Like, to me, they were the most corrupt of the corrupt. To me. I mean, they were the ones who were corrupt. It was not like, I used to see these teams get these penalties. I'm like, to me, you're the most corrupt of anyone, and you're carrying out the penalties. But I guess it's just, you just see year in, year out, like just guys, they just like Mensa from Duke, the quarterback. He's like, all right, I want. He says he's gonna come back, and he's like, you know what? No, I'm leaving. Like I want to go to just a different. It's become again. And look, I admit it. How am I trying to phrase this? I admit they really is the pros in reality, but I liked it when it was like you went to a school and that was your school, and then you had a loyalty to your school.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a loyalty to you have a loyalty to whoever pays you the most money, kind of like pro sports. And I get it. I mean, I'd be the same way probably. So I can't sit here and tell you, If some school offers me $1 million and I wanted to go to Michigan and they only offer me 700 grand, I'm probably saying, well, it's not going to happen. There's not going to be any go blue. And I want that extra 300K. So I get it because again, I truly get it. It's self-preservation, but I just liked it when back in the day, like I feel like that it meant more to be part of a university. Now I think it's not that they're not having a good time, not that they're not trying. I'm sure they are, but it's almost like, I guess you could say, look, I mean, maybe the argument against it is, I remember the Olympics when people would say, oh, it should be amateurs versus the pros way back when, because when it's pro, it's not quite the same. Remember that, Anthony, when there was that whole argument like 40 years ago?
Like in basketball, the
Yeah.
fact that we weren't winning. So that was
Right.
like, we got the dream team. Let's go. Like now take back our sport. Yeah.
Yeah, 92 changed everything in terms of pros being allowed in the Olympics versus just amateurs, because it used to be an amateur thing. And I guess maybe I'm just being too nostalgic, where to me, before NIL, I felt like that was like relatively, despite the corruption that's obviously was always in the NCAA, but it was more an amateur sport versus now it's just like, it's just pure, I'm going to whoever pays me the most money, not because I actually want to play for whatever university you grew up rooting for. If you grew up rooting for Alabama and Bear Bryant, or, well, I'm going really dating myself there, but if you grew up rooting for a certain team, or Nick Saban, you grew up rooting for Nick Saban at Alabama, and you loved Alabama football or whatever, I always want to play at Alabama. But oh man, Auburn's offering me an extra 100,000. Screw them. I'm going to play for Auburn.
It sucks. Like I agree with you. That part of it blows. I'm with you in the same way. Like I wish, like what they need to fix is the portal, and you got to give a team a chance to, like, if Duke says, like, if you go to Duke, like, if you got Mensa, Duke needs a right of first refusal. Like, you got to at least get the.
It's something like, well, I know, Anthony, I know you're so close with a lot of coaches, especially in college, and I would, first of all, by the way, I think college coaches now, their degree of difficulty for the job went from like a 3 to a 10. Okay. Like to me, I would blow my, I can't even how hard it would be to coach your team, manage the media, manage the fan base, coach everything, and then having to deal with the NIL, which that's beyond the full-time job. That's like the full-time job.
Well, now you need a real GM. Like that's the problem.
Yeah. It's like it's like there's so much stuff going on, and I feel like that's the situation when you're a coach. Now you're always sleeping with one eye open. You used to have, like
it's horrible.
Over your,
it's horrible. You never know when your kid's going to go in the portal, and you
right.
don't even know.
I can't stand it. Yeah. I couldn't stand the players being screwed over, Anthony. How they wouldn't get paid. I get it. I hated that, but I think I hate this even more.
Yeah. No, I hear you. The game itself, I feel you on it. No, it's fun, but baseball, like there's like I love baseball, like the box scores, and that's
the best. That's the best. Like to me, baseball is always my favorite box score.
Yeah.
And I'm really am looking forward to it. I really enjoy baseball it's getting around the corner again. Nothing's going to replace football for everyone watching. But
but baseball helps, and to me, even more than football. It just sounds weird, but I like fantasy baseball.
I love fantasy baseball.
It's my favorite.
That's my favorite too. Every day, love it. Every day.
Yeah, it's my favorite, VG. Yeah, it's my favorite, man.
Brother.
I've been in a league since 1990. Okay, wow. So that's what year we're 2026. Like 36 years I've been in this freaking league, and I still. Like I used to be back in the day.
Played, like nobody, like we nobody's doing it. So I miss.
Probably get you in one. We just need to find two people to come in.
I love baseball. I love fantasy baseball.
Mm-hmm. Fantasy baseball is the best.
You do keeper league.
You text our boy Ari. I know he's in the league. He probably get in his. But it's a fun. It's just for anyone who's ever done fantasy baseball, guys. I love it. It's like you feel like it gives you such a euphoria when your players do well, and
well, it's fun to watch. Like you follow along guys like every day. Like so there's
it's tremendous. It's tremendous.
Do you do a keeper league? So you got
I do one of the my AL only league and NL only league are keeper leagues, and I do a mixed league each year where you redraft. It's not a keeper league, so I do both. I like the keeper league. It's interesting when you draft. Like I had Mike Trout as a rookie. I had Clayton Kershaw as a rookie. I had Ryan Braun, Chipper Jones. I had some of the best rookies ever. Ryan Braun, Chipper Jones, Pedro Martinez. I had like some of these lucky guys that ended up staying with me for like, and you got to keep these guys for like 4 years. You treat them like your kids, and like you follow these guys, and it's
awesome,
like a true emotional attachment
where
fun. You get like, oh my god, man.
There's an innocence about.
Yeah,
I love fantasy baseball. Yeah, I'm with you.
The keeper leagues are the best, man. If you hit a good keeper, there's nothing like it. I'm telling you, you get a good cheap dude, you fall in love all over again.
Yeah, that was awesome. My brother, we love you. Always great.
Appreciate
man.
you guys
always love geeking out with you. It's always fun.
Yeah, I'm the biggest of the geeks, so there you go. Appreciate you guys. Speak to you soon.
Oh, we're geek brothers. We love it. Thanks, buddy.
Be good, guys.
Here he is, the brain.
Geek brothers.
I love that stuff. Like I used to be in the Primos fantasy baseball league. It was the best.
I'm in one with Jamie, the bro. Every year after the draft, he loved my team, and I think he's always the bottom two. He's one of the bottom two.
Really?
Yes.
He stinks every year?
I feel like I might be wrong, but I feel like he stinks every year. But he loves his team, and even mid-season, like, what's wrong with my team? Like, I got this, I got that.
That's great. That's great. All right, it's time now to go back in the day.
Back.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with True Mark. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go back to 1947.
1947?
Clearwater, Florida. The athletic field. That's what Clearwater, the first spring training at Clearwater looked like for the Phils back then. I'm sure it wasn't in black and white. I think there was some actual color in the skies and the grass. But that's athletic field. Lunch for players in 1947 consisted of one sandwich and one small milk. The players stayed at the Fort Harrison Hotel. They walked to the field.
Oh, my God.
Changed a little bit. No Frenchies.
That's clear. They had a milk?
One small milk. Don't get carried away because it's a small milk. Not chocolate, just one small milk and one sandwich. Probably on white bread.
Like a ham sandwich?
Probably, yeah. Probably on Wonder Bread.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Drinking out of a hose, probably.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit.
No bottled water back then.
No. They'd always say you get, do you ever get warned you get something from drinking out of the hose? Parents, they'd always say you're going to get trench mouth. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
Yeah. We were always warned that, drinking out of the hose with the rust and stuff.
Trench mouth?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
What's trench mouth?
I don't know. That's what we were told.
Dude, you remember, like, at a playground, the water fountain, and, like, drinking, like, we'd be, like, you run ball, and you're in line, the water fountain, and, like you think about, you're a germ guy.
Oh, because you see some dudes, their mouth would kiss it or touch it. You're like,
the water. But when you had the low flow,
yeah, it was the worst flow, dude, at the rec centers.
Just slurp the water out of the
yes,
you didn't think about like germ. Like I didn't.
Oh, I did, dude. If that hit, but my lip hit like that thing, that little curve thing.
Yeah,
I'd be thinking about the whole second half. I'm like, oh my god, it's on my lip.
Yeah, I never thought about it. I never thought of, like, I think about it now, like, I don't know, like, you'd have 50 guys drinking out of it.
Trench mouth is a necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. So I was told you get that out of drinking with a hose. So.
Really? What would you prefer, drinking out of the hose or drinking out of because the hose, you could just.
I prefer the hose. The hose had a certain taste to it. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was the hose taste.
Yeah, the hose taste. I kind of like the hose taste. I
prefer the water fountain. Every once in a while, you got a water fountain that was
with some pressure.
Well, that had the the cooling effect.
Oh, yeah. I've always liked lukewarm water.
Oh.
You know that.
Oh yeah. How could you like lukewarm? I like ice cold water.
Oh man, I just saw who's the famous scientist? Tyson Neil
deGrasse.
He just went off, showing you what happens when you drink ice cold water while you're eating. Disaster. It's a disaster. I'm telling you.
I can't
Your whole
do
life
ice
will
water.
change. It screws up the cells and your acids in your stomach. You're better off with lukewarm
I don't
water.
like this.
Or
I
warm water,
love
like a
this.
tea, a warm tea with your meal. Great for digestion.
I love the taste of cold water. Lukewarm water is the worst.
I like room temperature water.
No, I like drinking warm water.
You can't chug cold water though. I like cold water, but not freezing ice cold. It's like you can't chug it, and but Dwayne likes the ice cold, and I'm like,
yeah, middle of the night with that
hurts.
lukewarm room temperature water, you just guzzle it.
Chug it,
Man,
yeah.
so
I
good.
hate it. I hate it. I need ice cold. I'm an ice man. I like the ice. I like the temperature to be like so cold it crystallizes. Like there's an art to the freeze.
You're like a caveman, dude, from the Arctic.
There's like a freeze, like a
but that's not good to drink. It
I
feels
love it.
terrible.
And even like a beer, a cold.
Sure, no one
cold
likes a room
beer.
temperature beer.
Cold. Well, the Brits do.
Yeah, you're right, Cask.
But the cold, like where it's so cold, there's like ice crystals throughout.
Yeah, I'll do that with a beer. I do that also with my. I'll do it. People say it's wrong, but my Manhattans, I like it shaken, and I like a little bit of ice crystals in with it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
The top of a martini. Ice.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
They're saying it was the metallic Duracell taste of the hose. Yeah, I liked it.
All right. There you go. I like it. All right, that's going to do it for us. Jules, great job.
Julia.
To your dirty work scapegoat.
I'm impressed you
Come
know.
on.
I'm impressed you know a
Come on,
Metallica
that's a
song.
great line. Everybody, have a great night. We love you. Go Flyers. Tonight, let's go.
Mishkov.
All right? We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.